All right, welcome all in. I think we are live. We are here. This is the Average Albertan Podcast. And we'll wait a little bit for people to get in, but the NHL draft is underway. Yes, the NHL draft, the first three picks are in, and this is where it starts to get interesting because the first few picks, we kind of knew who was going to go where, and we'll see how the rest plays out. So welcome to the Average Albertan Podcast. Eric can't be with us tonight, but Frank and Ryan will be along just shortly. And we're going to talk the draft. We're going to talk the recent trades. We're going to talk a little bit about free agency. And of course, the recent awards that were distributed last week in the NHL. So without further ado, let's bring my co-host, the panelist, along here. Frank, how you doing?
I am good. I'm glad you predicted the shock we just got, but because I heard you, only the first pick was predicted.
Yeah, that first pick. So for those of you that may be watching on other channels and hopefully kind of maybe have a couple screens and have us on here, Connor Bedard, no question, was going to go to Chicago. No big rumors about trading the pick or anything like. Just like any franchise player, they tend not to trade that pick away. Leo Carlsson, that's where a little bit of surprise came in. A lot of people had Adam Fantilli. So talk about Anaheim. What do you think they saw in Carlsson to skip Fantilli?
Look, everybody has their preference. This is not the first time people have been shocked. Just last year, we can remember Shane Wright falling and falling and falling all the way to fourth. Dubois being picked third instead of Puljujärvi. So it happens. So people have. So Leo played pro hockey in Sweden. If you look, same size, etc. But it's only in the last couple of hours that Carlsson was rumored to go second. So it's all about interviews, the feel, the fit. Don't forget, Anaheim has a lot of good prospects already. So who's going to play best with the Zegrases, with the Mason McTavishes? Carlsson is predicted to be a winger, whereas Zegras and McTavish are centers, as Fantilli is a center. So it's probably the fit also in Anaheim. So who knows? But it's still a shocker.
Yeah, it is. And again, both teams are getting really good players. Both those players probably likely to play on the NHL squad this year. And again, we are,
the guy who wins is Fantilli because he steps in Columbus, which had a unusually unexpected shitty year. He's probably going to get to play with Gaudreau and Laine. Oh, poor guy, first year in the NHL. And don't forget, Fantilli is an overager. He's one of the oldest prospects, so maybe Anaheim went with the younger Carlsson, but Fantilli for sure is stepping into the NHL. And we won't see any Boone Jenner being on the first line in Columbus next year. So Fantilli had a big grin on stage because he went, Gaudreau? Laine.
Yeah, I think we have an early contender for Rookie of the Year. Absolutely. I think he offensively has the line mates that definitely can get him there.
And hey, Bedard's got Taylor Hall.
Yeah. And when we look back, Frank, at all the draft number one picks overall since 1994, I mean, we see some star-studded players. We also see a few that maybe were considered minor kind of busts, but we have of course McDavid in 2015, McKinnon in 2013. We go back all the way to 2000, where we had a goaltender. I believe that was that the Rick DiPietro year in 2000?
Probably, because 2003 is Fleury, so it's probably
DiPietro. And of course, the Nuge, the three Edmonton picks: 2010, 2011, 2012, and Hall, Nugent Hopkins, and
all right, pick 4 is going to be in, and very soon switch your screen. Yours is probably already in. I'm delayed.
Yes. So the next pick, it belongs to the
San Jose.
San Jose. A lot of talk about Michkov maybe going here.
They're probably Will Smith. That's what I'm guessing.
You're guessing Will Smith?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Michkov. I think.
Well, Habs are hoping it's Michkov.
Because they can wait. They can afford to wait. I don't think they're in any kind of rush right now to compete. And that's the boom and bust pick right there is Michkov.
If it's Will Smith, I think the Habs are going to trade down. You're going to see Bettman. So we have a trade to announce because I think Habs wanted either Carlson, Fantilli, or Will Smith. I don't think they want anything to do. And who is this? Is this Will Smith?
It looks like it's maybe Will Smith. It's not updating on my draft tracker right now.
I see it on the TV, but who is that?
It is Will Smith. Smith has gone to San Jose.
Ooh,
all right. Well, the top, 4 picks, I think, pretty much were a lock. Other than the wild
it's just
card
the order. I think Carlson and Fantilli were flip-flopped. But yeah, the top 4. Well, the top 1 was done. Carlson, Fantilli was switched, and logic was Will Smith 4th. So now the big question is, are my Habs going with Michkov or doing something stupid or trading down? Because
let's talk about this, Frank, because for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, Frank is a diehard Habitant fan, a Montreal Canadian fan, lives and dies by the Canadians, and has been a fan for a long time. So this is kind of like his Christmas Eve, his Christmas Day, where the Canadians get a really high draft pick. And, UP, I still think is the best mascot ever to be in, maybe with the chicken in San Diego.
Because he did 2 sports. Name me another mascot that was a 2-sport mascot.
There you go. So for Frank and all the Canadian fans out there, it is their draft day. It is their moment to shine, moment of glory. And with the top 4 picks off the board now, I guess the question is, who do you think the Habs will take, and who would you like them to take?
Who I think they should take, I'll answer that, is Michkov. To me, it's a no-brainer. I think they'll trade it. I don't think they'll make...
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think the Habs had Carlson, Fantilli, Smith in their soup. And then between Leonard, Michkov, Moore, Reinbacher, all these guys, Benson, I don't think they care. It's tier 1, which is Bedard, tier 2, the 3 players, and then tier 3 is all these guys. And if they can get extra assets and get Leonard or get Moore, I don't think they care. So,
and what do you think about
Michkov? You have to trade down.
What do you think about because the updated the final rankings by the big wigs that get paid to do this? Matthew Wood jumped from 8 to 4. Do you see that as a possibility for Montreal?
No. Who the hell is that? That's a good no. Just put McKenzie on, man. I don't know who these people are, but that's crazy. Matt Wood's not even going top 10.
And this is the European skaters.
That's the central.
Yeah, this is the central one, the one that a lot of people kind of.
McKenzie's the most accurate, and it's actually scouts. They did a comparison of the central scouting, and they had this bozo that wasn't even drafted ahead of. Right behind Kotkaniemi during his draft, and he wasn't even put McKenzie's 32 and dump that. I don't want to even look at that. That's stupid.
Well, I don't have McKenzie's because I don't want to get into the copyright issue. All I have is the video there, and I don't want to play that in the background. Okay. But here is the hockey news one, and the hockey news has Michkov going number 4 and Smith 5. They did have Fantilli 2nd. So again, we've got the right players.
That one. That's a little bit better. Because Dvorsky's in there, Leonard, Benson, see everybody, Reinbacher. These are everybody I mentioned. So
So
What
for you as a
Montreal
Montreal fan, who would you like them to see? Do you want them to take Michkov, or do you want them to go to, someone like Ryan Leonard or Oliver Moore?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, you're the only one here.
Okay, I already answered that question. I want them to trade down.
Oh.
if they don't take Michkov, I want them to trade down.
Okay. So Michkov or trading down. Yeah, I think if they do trade down and get an extra asset, there are a bunch of players, similar caliber players that they can choose from there.
Washington is safe.
They are going up to the podium with the jersey, so it looks like they are going to keep the pick.
Michkov.
So we're going to put Frank on the big screen here. This is the Frank reaction. Let's see. Thanks, everyone, for joining in. Again, feel free to ask questions in the chat.
Gary Price.
I think those days are gone.
Okay? He's the last fifth pick of the Habs. The Crosby.
All right. Well, it looks like Montreal is ready to pick here.
So no trading down. Don't be stupid. Please don't be stupid. Please don't be stupid. Please.
I'm going to go with Zach. I'm going to go with Zach Benson.
Are you crazy? No, not another small guy, man. They have enough of those. They just traded for one of those. New Hook. No, not Benson. That's why you can trade down for Benson. Hey, here we go. All right,
here we go. The pick is in.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
And of course, they need 2 or 3 different people talking before they actually make the pick. Gary Price is making the pick. Maybe they go way off the board.
I'm behind, so.
Oh, I've got Carey Price up on the podium right now.
I still have Can't You speaking, and now Carey Price is coming. I'm right behind you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, depending what feed you're watching, there may be a little bit of a delay, so you may get the pick before you see it as we announce it. And there it is. The selection is in. They're doing the family hugs right now, and I'm not familiar with it. Looks like a bigger guy.
What?
Taller guy.
Ryan Leonard. If it's a bigger guy, it's Ryan Leonard.
And they should be flashing the.
That's like Ryan Leonard.
Got nice hair, dark hair.
That's not Michkov. That's for damn sure.
No, that's not Michkov. Come on, let's see the name there. Who
Ryan
is?
Leonard? I recognize him.
Okay.
Unless
there
it's
you go.
a defenseman.
So projected to go number 7 by the Hockey News, moves up a little bit to number 5th. So probably just a little bit scared to, take a chance.
I still don't know. It might be the defenseman if he's big. It is the defenseman.
Oh, it is. Did they go with
Reinbacker? Oh my fucking lord!
David Reinbacker.
Fucking lord! What did they do, man? Oh,
that is a bit of a reach. Number 11 on the Hockey News, and
my freaking lord!
So there you have live
guy
reaction.
They could have traded down to get him. That's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, and maybe they didn't have any takers. Maybe no one was willing.
They had 5 offers, according to the rumor.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. I'm hoping this is like, okay, the same reaction happened when Detroit took Seider. And it's like, off the board, Moritz Seider, 6th overall. And look what happened to Seider. So hopefully the same happens here, because there's always these picks that people go, oh my, Elias Peterson from Vancouver. Yep. Oh my God, they reached for him and he became so.
Yeah.
It's always difficult to comment, but
Bob McKenzie did
down for this guy.
McKenzie did have Reinbacker at number 8 on his list. The Hockey News had him at number 9, and a few other lists had Reinbacker. One had them at 11, and the Central Prospect had him.
European skater, yeah.
European Skaters had him as the number 5. So had him behind Carlson, Michkov, Dvorsky, and Sale. But again, they had him as the
2 drafts in a row. I'm disappointed. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay.
The
Ay, ay,
sporting
ay.
news. Let's see where the
For
sporting
those that
news.
watch us regularly, you have to remember in a previous podcast, somebody said, "Oh, Reinbacher to Vancouver, wouldn't that be nice?" I go, "No way, he's not going to be the first defenseman picked."
I remember that. Yes.
Oh my god! And then we pick him. Oh my god! All right, now we cross
Well,
our
it
fingers.
kind of reminds me of the meme of the lady in the stands when they took who's the guy that went to Carolina?
When?
They traded
What year?
like 5 years ago, off the board kind of pick. They just traded him recently to Carolina.
Huh?
He's like the third or fourth liner right now.
Well, I don't know.
He went third overall. Who was that Canadian that went third overall? Kokaniemi.
Oh yeah, Kotkaniemi.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reaction from the Habs fans. So
Yeah.
again, big defenseman, 6'2", 185
Well, he's a right
pounds.
defenseman, which the Habs don't have a lot of, but very disappointed with this pick. Like really disappointed with this pick.
Yeah, the
And
sporting
that's
news
not
says that.
maximizing your assets. Now, where does Michkov go? That's the question, because Washington
Yeah.
at 8th are salivating. Next is Coyotes, right? Yeah,
Arizona,
Coyotes.
Philadelphia, and Washington. So I don't know. I don't know if Arizona takes the chance on them.
I don't think so either, and I don't think Philly takes the chance. So
No.
Washington might. I know Detroit would pick him, but I think he doesn't go past the Capitals.
No,
Oh.
absolutely. I think Ovechkin probably put in a good word for him, and I think
Just Miroshenko just came over. Ovechkin is tight with Darth Putin, so he's gonna get his way, you know. And when he leaves after beating Gretzky, Michkov will come in. He might stick around one more year to be the father figure, but we'll see if he falls, because Arizona, who knows what they do. But
and Arizona, a lot of different choices they can take in terms of. I think they might go with. Do you think they go with Zach Benson? They tend to draft a lot of small.
No, they go usually U.S. college. That's almost like Logan Cooley. So
Oliver Moore, maybe.
They are taking Ryan Leonard. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I got my crystal ball here. Ryan Leonard comes. Shake the 8-ball. Shake the 8-ball. It comes up Ryan Leonard.
I'm going to go Oliver Moore.
They didn't take Shane Wright last year because they had Logan Cooley in their soup, and but Leonard is better than Moore. So
but Moore's a center.
Doesn't matter. They have they'll take Ryan Leonard. The power forward like that, they're taking Ryan Leonard.
Well, who would be the next defenseman that you think goes? Because team's looking for defense.
Sandin, whatever his name is.
Sandin. Axel Sandin.
Sandin Pelika.
Right.
All right, Arizona's here. I'm telling you, power forward. Unless if they go off the board with Michkov, I'll be shocked.
Oh, I would be shocked too. That would be a shock. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they want to gamble on it. And Philadelphia, after they traded Prokhorov, I don't think they're going to take another Russian.
No, it's just they're in a fast rebuild.
Yeah.
So Briere's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna go with Michkov.
Well, the pick is in. I don't think it's Michkov. Another young guy with. I guess I could probably let me put on because you're a little bit behind me.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have the sound on there.
Wow. They went way off the board. They took a D.
Oh, they did.
Holy mother of Lord, Shimashiev. You gotta go down on your list, man. Wow. Shock! Hey, this is a great draft, man.
All
I don't know if
right.
we have anybody online, but this is a great draft.
Yeah, we've got a few hundred people right now tuning in. So,
This
put
is
some comments in.
crazy. Crazy.
So, who did they go with here? They went with
Shimashiev. Yeah, that Shimashiev. Yeah,
Dmitriev.
15.
So they went with a Russian. Who would
6'4".
have bet that the first Russian would not have been Michkov? Wow. But, Arizona, Frank, to be fair, if you look back at their last 10 drafts, Arizona has made some off-the-board picks.
Come on, man.
I don't think it's the right pick either, but, they did want a defenseman, 6'4", 201 pounds in the physical NHL. Reinbacher is 6'2", and the other one you were talking about is only, I think, 5'11", so more probably
he's
even.
He's right on top there.
Yeah. So, all right, that brings up the Philadelphia Flyers.
Holy moly, man! So I guess I was wrong on the next defenseman being picked there. Wow.
Frank, who makes the most immediate impact? You said the Flyers are looking to rebuild quickly here. Who is the most impactful player left in the draft?
Oh, they're picking. Okay, now my crystal ball is gonna. They picked Cutter Gauthier last year, and Briere said we need to bring back the Flyer way, the culture, and Ryan Leonard fits that. So they're taking Ryan Leonard. That's the culture, the Legion of Doom. But who knows this year? I would have bet my last limbs that Fantilli was going to. So
this is going to be the podcast where every time a pick comes up, Frank goes, they're going to pick Ryan Leonard. So he's a do everything.
The big rumor on Twitter was the Habs were going to take him 5th. And I said, no, they should trade down. No, he'll be gone by pick 7. Well, this is pick 7, so no way he falls beyond. So I think Philly are very happy. The two previous teams picked defensemen. A little bit like the Habs were happy Philly picked a defenseman back a couple of drafts ago when they took Cam York and we got Caulfield. And now I think we returned the favor.
Well, Frank, Briere is an undersized forward, and Zach Benson is right there.
Stop with your Zach Benson, man.
Benson.
Stop it.
Is a Danny Briere type of player, I think. Great hands, plays through traffic.
Stop it.
I'm going to guess Zach Benson. I'm going to go Danny Briere, just like the small guys.
Benson is probably going to Vancouver, dude.
All right. Well, Zach Benson, 5'10", one of the smaller players. Michkov, a small player as well, 5'10". Maybe they're scared of the Yakupov factor, getting another Yakupov. We are into the 7th pick here with the Philadelphia Flyers. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Bob McKenzie had Leonard going 6, Dvorsky going 7, Reinbacher 8, Zach Benson 9, Perreault number 10. So I would imagine he had kind of the regular top 5 that everyone kind of agrees with. Some other names that we're going to see soon. Matt Wood, Colby Barlow, Oliver Moore, projected to go 13 by Bob McKenzie. There's that right defenseman. And
usually McKenzie is pretty spot on because he
gets the intel. He has guys.
The 10 scouts. And Reinbacher is 10th on his list. He went 5th. And I'm still trying to find Shimashev.
All right. The pick is about to be made. So Philadelphia are going to make this pick. I thought we might see a few more trades. We have seen a lot of trades over the last week, and we will get to those. So we don't want to talk about the trades right now. Let's go through the first 10 picks of the draft, and then we'll kind of sidetrack our way, and hopefully Ryan will be with us.
We'll do the top 11.
Top 11. Oh, who's got
Well,
the number 11 pick?
Isn't Vancouver 11?
Let me bring up my list here. Yes, yeah. So we'll go top 11.
So let's
And
go
then
Canada.
then we'll come
do
back
the
for
top 11.
Calgary.
Then
Yeah.
we'll start talking about the trades and all that. And then whenever a Canadian team comes back up, we'll go take a peek what they're doing. If there's a breaking trade, but like at least top 11, because I can't wait to see what Vancouver does. There's a new regime in place.
Oh man, Vancouver has had such, bad drafts, missing on some of those picks. Reminds me of that defenseman they took, 4 or 5 years ago. They did hit on, Peterson, of course, but
they got lucky with Quinn Hughes also.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes dropping.
All right.
He was my general manager of the Washington Capitals.
They cannot. They're not. If they go Michkov, that'll be as big of a surprise.
Well, it's someone in a purple jersey, purple suit. Someone that's dressed to the nines here. This kid right here.
With the seventh selection of the draft, Flyers are proud to select from St. Petersburg and KHL, Matvei Michkov.
Whoa, they went Michkov.
Whoa.
Unbelievable. That's a surprise. That's a new GM, eh? Just getting hired and saying, I got time, man. So that means Flyers fans, you're in for a longer rebuild than predicted. Capitals are kicking themselves in the ass for not offering Montreal a better package for flipping, because if Washington goes to 5, they get Michkov, and Montreal still gets Reinbacher at 8. I'm for sure.
Unless Arizona takes him. I mean, Arizona might have taken Reinbacher because they were looking for a defenseman too. So maybe Montreal
they were looking for an offensive defenseman. Reinbacher is more of a complete defenseman. He's going to be the perfect pairing to Hudson, which is smaller all offense. Shimashev is an offensive dynamo. So
he's more like an Ekman Larson then?
Who?
Shimashev.
No, offensive. Oh.
Yeah, but Ekman Larson was an offensive defenseman.
No, he had one good year. Hopefully it's not that. No, Shimashev is probably like a Dougie Hamilton type player.
Okay.
Doesn't play well. He's not that great in his own zone. And Reinbacher is more of Pietrangelo. Good as offense, good at defense,
The kid up there looks good in orange. It looks like he's going to cry too. He looks very emotional there. Well, Washington, I wonder if they knew that was coming, or they just felt that Michkov would fall into their laps because, did they approach Philadelphia and say, hey, you want to move down one pick? Do you want to, what's it going to cost to avoid our guy? I'm betting Washington thought he was going to fall into their laps.
Now, Shimashev was 19th, on Mackenzie's list.
19.
That's crazy.
And in the on the hockey news, Shimashev was, let's try and find it here.
Oh, go down. Go down. Go down.
Wow. 30th.
Yeah. He was a late first rounder, like 20th to 30th on most lists. So that's why that's a shocker for Arizona.
I like this site too. I don't know if you ever come across it, EOTPs. And what I like about them is they put their money where their mouth is, and they show their statistics since 2016 and the percentage of how well that they draft, and they're constantly 80% or higher with their picks. And let's go down. They've got Bedard, Fantilli, Carlson, Michkov they had at 4. So they got Benson and Leonard coming up.
I'm happy, because this guy on Twitter, when he said Habs were going to pick Leonard, and I said, no, they should trade down. He says, oh, no way he gets past pick 7, blah, blah, blah. They should not, blah, blah, blah. what are we now? Pick 8, and but I think Washington. I think Washington's gonna pick Benson at this point.
What? No, where's the third Ryan Leonard in a row, Frank?
I don't
For
think
sure.
I don't think Washington is going for a power forward. They need skill and fast. Their prospect pool has nothing in it, so they're just looking for skill. So, yeah.
I mean, Washington always reminds me when they draft the the tough guys, the big, strong, like the Tom
Not top
Wilson.
10, not top 10.
Yeah.
Later,
So
like they got Tom Wilson in the teens or 20s, so maybe they take big swings later in the round, but now they got the 8th, So, but again, this draft.
What about Dvorsky? I mean, they had they drafted Nicholas Backstrom, so here's someone from kind of the same region of the world. Dvorsky a good fit?
Yes.
I'm going to go Dvorsky.
I don't have a lot of confidence in Dvorsky.
Right.
He was underwhelming, let's just say so. They might pick him. Who knows? This draft is crazy so far.
Oh, it's wide open. I mean, the Hockey News had Dvorsky at number 6, Ryan Leonard at number 7. Central Scouting has Dvorsky. He won't be on here. He'll be on.
You know what tipped me off that this might be a crazy draft is the Flyers. They said they met after the combine to draft their list, and they had to take a 2-day break because everybody on the staff were yelling at each other, and it was getting personal. And this guy said, "Yeah, I had to do a timeout, have everybody decompress." Because we were 1 week together at the combine, 1 week together, and then people were so convinced and all to put people in order, it was going left, right, and center. So he had everybody go on separate sides for 2 days and then reconvene. And he said, like today, his draft was 90% done. So that's what made me kind of think that it might be a crazy draft. So, all right, Washington, what are you doing?
I think that's where we are with Washington.
Watch Ryan Leonard go.
Nope.
When I don't pick him, that's Ryan
Is that-
Leonard. I think it is.
Is it?
I don't know. I can't.
Michigan Capitals would like to
Looks like Justin Trudeau there, Frank.
for organization.
Oh, I'm so behind you.
Congratulating my outstanding
Well, you can see my screen here. Oh,
Yeah, but I can't. I don't know who that is.
Washington selects Ryan Leonard.
There you go, Ryan Leonard.
it is Ryan Leonard. So the one time Frank doesn't
Wow.
predict Leonard.
All right.
Okay.
Who's
So
next?
that
Who's the
brings
next
us
pick?
up.
Who's after Washington?
After Washington is Detroit.
Ooh.
Stevie Y. Will he go off the board again? I think maybe he might. Maybe he goes a little
He
deeper.
would
down.
have, but Shimashev is gone. And Zadina pick was a blunder, but he wasn't there. But Detroit traditionally, they go
Europeans.
whoever they have ranked and they're on their own list, and they surprise everyone. So I don't know, man.
Well, they like the European players. They like European players. I think I say this is where Dvorsky goes. I think this is a center going to Detroit. They got Larkin there, but I think this is
I'll go long shot here, and I'll say Gabe Perreault.
Gabe Perreault. Right, Gabe Perreault projected to go number 8. So we got the 7 and 8th picks here by the Sporting News. 5'10".
Gabe Perreault on some list is like in the 20s. So
I don't know. I don't know what Stevie Y likes the small guys though. I don't know his history of drafting. It seems he goes with the bigger guys.
We'll see, man. Nothing is predictable this year.
Yeah. Well, we know he's not going to goalie. I think they've got, deep enough goalie prospects. So
Well, they don't. They only have one, and he's not that great.
Casa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went. ECHL is like you can't even make the American League, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and they have like nobody else. So, but who knows? They could surprise us and go Oliver Bonk.
Here's a throwback. Yeah. Is this, I wonder if this is Radek Bonk's son?
It is.
It is. Okay.
We got Gauthier as a son. We got Bonk as a son. We got Perreault as a son. We got a crap load of sons this year.
Yeah. It's the 80s. The 80s generation. Their kids are, I guess, 90s even.
Yeah, Caden Price is not Carey Price's son. Don't even go there. Even though they have the same initials, CP. Oh my God, this is a great draft so far. I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, this is fun. Not knowing Benson, Dvorsky, Perreault, Jaeger.
Yeah, Jaeger is all over some lists too. He's like in the 20s and on some lists and very high up on others. So him, it's his consistency that his big problem. He disappears and all that. So and he doesn't go. He stays peripheral.
Well, you know what I like, Frank, about Montreal's pick is looking at Mackenzie's final rankings here. Reinbacker he had at number 8, but he moved up 12 spots. Whereas Benson has fallen, Perreault has moved up 13. Dvorsky he had at number 7. So Dvorsky is the highest rated guy still on Mackenzie's list. So I still think they're going to go with the European. I think they're going to go with Dvorsky. But it may have been a good pick by Montreal with the stock of Reinbacker moving up.
I'm not saying it's not a good pick. I said they could have traded down and still had the pick.
You think so? I don't know. If his stock was rising.
No. I guarantee.
May not have been there.
No. And if he's not there, you pick somebody else. Big deal. You get extra assets.
Well, Frank, it's like running a fantasy hockey team. You become too attached to your picks, and I think some of these GMs are so attached to the pick, the guy they want.
Last year,
yeah,
when Montreal took Slafosky, New Jersey was locked into Nemex, and what happened with Arizona? They didn't interview Shane Wright. They didn't know him. They had maybe one or interview just for the form, but he was projected to go number 1. So they zoned in on Cooley. They fell in love with Cooley. And then when Shane fell, they said, Cooley. And then Seattle went, huh? And because they said, they have 5 minutes after they find out? But they've probably had multiple meetings with Cooley. Everybody says it's Cooley at 3. So you're right. People zone in on certain prospects and then they don't adjust because everybody is comfortable with that prospect, knows that prospect. But Montreal didn't have that problem. If Reinbacker messes up, that's their problem. Can you put sound on your thing here?
What's that?
Can't you put sound?
Yeah, I don't want to play the sound again because of copyright issues.
Okay.
Sometimes the sound gets you into trouble. The video sometimes doesn't get you into trouble. So, yeah, we'll just leave it on. And who is that young guy?
He's tall. That's Dvorsky.
Not Zach Benson.
How tall? No, he's too tall. You think that's Benson? You know his face?
No, I don't know his face, but Danielson. They do go off the board a bit.
Wow, Nate Danielson, man.
Yeah.
People were hoping he would fall to Vancouver. Detroit always goes off the board, man.
Yeah.
Eiserman is like a mad scientist.
Oh. So let's see where Bob McKenzie had him rated. Not in the top 15. And I guess that's all they show right here.
16th.
So
16th.
16th for Bob McKenzie?
Yeah.
So the Hockey News had him. Who is this again? This was
Nate Danielson.
22.
Nate. Detroit,
22.
Man, never failed to surprise us.
16 by another site. Central Scouting had him at number. Yeesh, where is he? Well, they had him high. They had him at number 7.
Well, that's 7 without the Europeans.
North American. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of these guys, Matthew Wood still up there, Zach Benson,
I
Oliver
told you
Moore.
Matthew Wood wouldn't go top 10. Come on.
Well, St. Louis is up now. If there is going to be a trade, I could see St. Louis making a move here. They obviously are in win now mode. Let's see if they move this pick.
I have no clue what they're going to pick. Like none whatsoever. Like I don't even have an inkling looking at, because they have like some younger players like Thomas, Kyrou, and everything. So I have no clue. They might need a defenseman. They might go Sandin Pelika here. That's where I'm going. That's my prediction. Just
in terms of goalies, Frank, who stands out as likely to be the first goaltender that's going to be selected?
That's going to depend on who selects the goalie. Goaltenders, man. Doubt they go in the first round. But Harbaugh that you have here, Jarnason is the top-rated goalie because he actually played in the Canadian juniors. And then you have Augustine that did well in the tournaments. But 17, 18-year-old goalies, man, they're a flip of a coin, man.
I think one will go in the first round. I don't think until at least
no,
I think later on.
Not the way this draft is going. People's lists are getting messed up right now with all these reaches, and some people just got like people in their 20s going off their board. So that means there's going to be people in their teens still there in late first round.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'd like to see all the GM lists. They're probably all over the place. St. Louis does have 3 picks in the first round. Maybe they use their last one on a goalie.
No, they have Joel Hofer coming. They're not going to waste it it's a waste first round. So, all right. So my prediction is a D, and I'm going to go Sandin Pelika, and then Vancouver.
Well, Vancouver is going to get a player rated in the top 7 or 8 by some of the establishments.
If they stick to the script.
True.
Elias Peterson was not supposed to go top 5 in his draft.
But,
so they go
but
off.
Frank, don't GMs all have like a master list? And regardless of who goes where, don't they say, okay, here are my 11 guys, and whoever is at the top of this list when it's our turn, we take?
Yeah. But they can have, like, Detroit obviously had Nate Danielson in the top 10.
Yeah.
So
that wouldn't impact Vancouver, though.
Well, yeah, because if they have Oliver Moore as the 5th best prospect, they don't care. They don't care about these top 10 lists. They're going to take Oliver Moore.
All right, so you're going with a defenseman. I'm going with Dvorsky. He's, again, too many sites.
Dvorsky is my Leonard to you.
Yeah. But I have faith in him. He's going right now to St. Louis. What's the size of this guy here? He is 6'1", 200 pounds.
No, Dvorsky's going later. That's my prediction. So I'm sticking with the D. I don't know where they need help. They might go big and finally take Matthew Wood, but Matthew Wood is not the best power forward in my eyes. So, Barlow's pretty big too. I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting.
Well,
Tom Wielander is a wild card here. So
St. Louis is up on the podium, so they're not trading the pick. This pick will be made by the St. Louis Blues.
So Wielander might go now or Vancouver. Mark my words. I forgot about him. I just saw him he's 20th on Mackenzie's list, but he's been going up on the draft lists. So he might be a Nate Danielson. And Nate Danielson makes me think of who did they pick last year? A guy from Europe. Everybody goes, whoa, that's way too soon. But character guy. What was his name, man? Can't remember. But Nate Danielson is that type of player, too.
It's the select. Dvorsky.
Oh, you're right. Dvorsky.
Hey!
Finally. So Vancouver, knowing this, Vancouver is definitely taking a D. Which D? Who knows?
Well, there's Pelika
or Wielander.
Yep. I don't think they go deeper down to Bonk.
No. Well, they could. Who knows? All right, I'm going to take a little break. I'll be right back.
All right. Pick. Okay. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in and watching. This is our draft, the Average Albertan Draft Special. We will be going over some of the trades that were made recently over the week, some big names moving around, changing jerseys, and of course, we'll take a look at some of the awards that were given out last week in Nashville. Many of them expected to go to the players that deserve them, a couple surprises along the way, and even some controversy in how the voting takes place, specifically around Connor McDavid. So stay tuned for that. We will be covering those topics after the Vancouver pick. Right now we have pick number 11, which is, of course, the second Canadian team to draft Montreal. If you missed it, draft David Reinbacher. Little bit of a surprise to many of the Canadiens fans. Surprised they didn't move down. Connor Bedard went first. Leo Carlsson to the Ducks. Adam Fantilli going to Columbus. William Smith, center, going to San Jose. Simashev off the board a little bit. Simashev projected by many to go anywhere between number 15 and number 25. The wild card, Michkov, goes to the Philadelphia Flyers. So they are willing to wait a little bit on this kid and bring him into the system, hopefully in a couple years. And then Washington had one of the top prospects fall down a little bit. Ryan Leonard projected to go anywhere between 5 and 8. He would go number 8 to the Capitals. Nate Danielson, Stevie Y, always unpredictable, always goes off the board a little bit. Of course, we remember his defensive pick a couple years ago, which turned out to be a great choice. And then Dvorsky, just taken by St. Louis. No trades during the draft so far. Thought that there might be a couple of teams that were looking to move up or move down. Washington didn't do it. Montreal did not do it. And of course, the top four, it would have cost a lot for any of those four to move down because they are going to get a bona fide star on their team. So we do have Vancouver coming up after the Vancouver pick. Frank and I will look back on some of the award winners and some of the trades that has taken place over the last week.
Yep.
So biggest shock so far, Frank, in the top 10 picks. What's your biggest surprise?
Fantilli not going number 2. So we will forever associate Leo and Adam. The rest, Simashev is shocking also. Nate Danielson. Who's that name? Casper. Marco Casper was the pick last year from Detroit that was off the board. Like, good two-way player, So it's like Nate Danielson is a great two-way player with size, as we can see here. So, but me, we weren't online, but my heart went boom, boom, boom when Leo Carlsson was picked. That was a huge shocker.
Vancouver's still at the table there. They haven't gone up to the podium, so I'm sure they're a little bit surprised, double checking their list. Maybe someone has fallen to them. Maybe there's a little bit of a debate going on at the Vancouver table. Maybe they got the phones going. Maybe they're working to move down a little bit, but they're not moving.
No, they're not on the phone. I can see them. They're not on the phone. They're, okay. See, the shirt is being passed the cap, so they're picking.
All right. They're coming.
Yeah.
You're going defense?
Defense. Sandin or Wielander? Probably Wielander. I like looking like a fool on these podcasts.
Well, his stock's gone up quite a bit according to the Sporting News.
Quinn Hughes needs help. Quinn Hughes needs so much help.
Yeah. And he's more of a defensive guy, isn't he? Or is he more of an all-round?
He's very good offensively, but he's a two-way defender, as he says. But he's going to be the perfect match to Quinn Hughes, All
right, I'm going to go with you on this one, Frank. I'm going to go with the defenseman. I don't think they draft another Quinn Hughes type of defenseman. Why would you go with the complementary player? And
or they go with a big power forward. Who knows? The Matthew Wood you've been talking about.
Matthew Wood, yeah.
Colby Barlow type thing. But I think they go D. They really need D.
Well, the pick has been made.
Oh,
doesn't look like an overly big guy. Maybe it's like an Oliver Moore. Zach Benson.
No, it's Tom Wielander.
Oh, it is.
I know,
okay. Right? Woo! All right, everyone. I mean, if you're watching this right now, you got to give the video a like because Frank made a prediction right. They did go with Wielander.
Finally.
But Frank, this made the most sense for Vancouver. Finally, a team that we see made the pick that they should have taken.
Yeah. So, I figured they'd go with D. When we had our previous podcast, somebody said, they're going to take Rangbacker. I said, no, they'll take a D, but another D that fits. They don't need the Rangbacker, great two-way guy, big. So Wielander, not surprising. But what's surprising is that Sandin Pellikka is dropping. Like, he's going to be the fourth. If he's next, he's going to be the fourth defenseman picked. So, that's surprising because he showed well in the tournament on top of showing well. So maybe it's his size, 5'10", man. The size discount. Benson, not going top 10. Matthew Wood, second prediction. I forgot to say after the last pick, Matthew Wood, I told you would not go top 10, and he didn't. So,
Well, let's take a look while we'll wait for one more pick to come in, but let's take a look at some of these sites and their top 10 kind of boards and see how accurate they've been. So first, the Sporting News that I got up here. Zach Benson, they had at number 6. He hasn't gone in the top 10, so a little bit of a miss there. Gabe Perreault. And otherwise...
Small.
Yep. So 2, they missed out on 2.
Yeah.
Bob McKenzie, I don't have his full list here. Maybe you have his list up there.
Yes, I have his full list here. Hold on. So he had...
I think Benson and Perreault.
Benson and Perreault, 9 and 10.
Okay.
That in his top 10 that weren't picked. So
2 misses there.
Same players as this list.
Central Scouting, it's a little bit tough because they divide up.
Yeah,
into
don't do Central. It's all mixed up with different regions.
All mixed up. Hockey News. Let's take a look at the Hockey News. Bedard, Fantilli.
I have to get more booze to drown my sorrows of Reinbacker.
So the Hockey News had Zach Benson as well up there and Braden Yeager. So those are the 2 that the Hockey News missed out on. So far.
Up to now, it's pretty good. It's 80% accuracy.
And here's the one that I showed you earlier that,
Yeah,
you know,
eye on the prize.
yep, eye on the prize, and Benson, Moore, and Sandin. So they missed out on three
They're
of them.
70%.
So Benson looks like he is the top guy left, while Arizona take Zach Benson.
159 pounds, man.
Yeah.
Oh no, Moore is probably going next. Who did they pick first? The defenseman? Yeah, they're going to take Moore. Oliver Moore is my prediction. They like college because it allows them to sign guys 4 years later, and they're like the dollar store of NHL teams. They play in a barn, so they love that because junior players, they have 2 years to make them sign a contract. College, they have 4 years. So Arizona likes that, to have that extra time, and then that delays their entry-level contracts. It's not necessarily 4 years that they go back, but look at Logan Cooley. He was picked last year. He's going back to Minnesota because he wants to play in front of more fans than he would in the NHL, playing in Minnesota.
So yeah, I think I agree with you. I think Moore's going to go to Arizona. I think Zach Benson's going to go to Buffalo. They kind of like the smaller forwards in Buffalo. Pittsburgh, who knows? Who knows which direction Pittsburgh's going to go to? So yeah,
all right, let's do the trades.
All right. So
okay, let's start with today.
For those of you tuning in, well, I've got them in a certain order, Frank. So we'll go in the order that I have them in. Once again, first overall pick. If you missed it, no surprise, it was Connor Bedard, who is going to Chicago. And because he was traded to Chicago, we're going to start with that move. Chicago getting Connor Bedard some immediate pieces that's going to improve his game, improve his point production, as long as Taylor Hall, of course, can stay healthy. And Nick Foligno did sign a 1-year contract with Chicago, so he's going to be there at least 1 year. Boston receives, basically cap relief, right, Frank?
Yep.
So any other opinions about the Hall to Chicago?
Great trade for Chicago. We'll hear this for multiple trades that we'll talk about. Salary cap relief. So teams are stuck. So Vegas, Calgary, everybody went through this. So, but
well,
I would rather Bedard have Taylor Hall as a winger than Reichel, who would technically be almost a rookie, or Taylor Radish, who's very young. Taylor Hall's over 30.
Kind of a shock here to Arizona, Frank.
Oh my God, unbelievable! This guy was almost. Oh. Well, yeah, they went. Hey, what did I say? The big power forward with their previous pick? Well, they went big. The guy's 6'5". Yeah, big power forward so 2 Russians for Arizona. Wow.
And it's funny because they're interviewing on Sportsnet right now. They're interviewing the first pick by Arizona, and the kid was ecstatic when he saw that his fellow countryman was just drafted here. So they are going all Russia. Wow.
I'm shocked. Usually they go NCAA. I'm shocked. I think what hurt Leonard and what's hurting Moore is they all played together, and, Perreault, Smith, and Leonard played on the same line, and Oliver Moore played on the second line. So I think that is hurting everybody not named Will Smith, Like one person's going to get the credit. Oh, yeah, he's 32nd, he's 20s. This is a crazy-ass pick like Doan was. Wow. Doan's going to come out being a bust. This is a stupid pick. I'm sorry, but this is stupid. Winnipeg was a pick like this at one point. Big, huge guy, a forward. What was his name? They dumped him somewhere. It's like these 6'5", 6'6" forwards, they take a long time to develop, man.
Yeah. And even then, when their body fills out, sometimes they just don't have the skills. They lose speed and they lose other things. I mean, Arizona, I don't know if they have another pick coming up.
Yeah, they have 3, I think, in the first round. No.
No, I think that was it. Just 2.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, it big reach there by Arizona. I don't like that pick either. Not with so many other names on the board there.
Yeah. Wow. All right,
and
Buffalo. Well, Buffalo's ecstatic. I'm telling you, people are ecstatic right now. Pittsburgh is going crazy. You know,
Yep.
Eric would be proud to what his ex-GM will do after what he did today. Like Pittsburgh is going, we're getting a top 10 guy. There's 2 picks.
Yeah.
Benson is still on the board. Benson's going to be like Caulfield. Whoever gets him is going to be happy. Caulfield went 15th, remember. So whoever gets Benson is getting huge talent. And I'm telling you, Pittsburgh won't let Benson pass them. They need talent, high-end talent. So, yeah, Pittsburgh, they have nothing in their prospect pool. Nothing. So,
all right. Well, we'll come back to the draft if there's another.
So Taylor Hall, great trade for Chicago because former MVP in the league playing with Connor Bedard. So it helps Chicago tremendously. Have a mentor for Connor Bedard, former first overall pick because he beat Tyler Seguin. So great mentor, it never lived up to expectations, so it can probably guide Connor, and he played with Connor McDavid, so he knows how to play with high-end talent. And whoever Boston receives are afterthoughts. Who cares? So next trade.
Okay. Before we move on, though, let's talk a little bit about Taylor Hall, because I remember the Taylor-Tyler debate way back then. And reflecting back on that, Frank, who do you think as of this point right now is the better player, or would you consider them fairly equal? I know Tyler's won a cup, I think, with Boston, but hey, he was young. Who deserved to be first overall that year between Taylor and Tyler?
That's a good question. I think they went in the right order. They both disappointed. Yeah. That's the key of that draft, is the top 2 players both were disappointing. I'm going to look. What year was that? 2010?
2010, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. And then you look at the other players that went after. It wasn't a strong draft, man.
Yeah.
So it's like they probably went in the right order. Man, I'm looking at the names, man. Yeah.
Tyler, though, he just fell off a cliff. Like Tyler just went from really, really solid first, second liner to kind of insignificant in the last few years. Like he really fell off. And both of these guys, Frank, personality wise, there's been issues with them with the personality. I mean, look at Taylor Hall.
Got injured, a very serious injury. So be careful when you say he fell off a cliff.
Right. But Taylor Hall, to be fair, has had some significant injuries as well.
Exactly. That's what I mean. They're like almost too similar. So yeah. I think they went in the right order, but they're basically the same. So I think
which
today we would have the same debate. Taylor or Tyler, we wouldn't know.
We wouldn't know. Can you name all the teams without looking that Taylor Hall has already played for in his career? It's got to be at least 5 or 6. Edmonton?
Yeah.
Went to New Jersey?
Yeah. Boston?
Didn't he play in Arizona?
Yes.
Arizona?
Yes. They traded for him when they thought they would make the playoffs.
So this is his 5th team in his career so far. Interesting.
No,
and I had
to. We missed one. Oh, who? Buffalo.
Taylor Hall played in Buffalo?
37 games, man.
Really?
Yeah, Boston traded for him at the trade deadline. Remember, nobody wanted to sign him. He was a free agent, so Buffalo gave him a contract and then flipped him to Boston for almost nothing.
So this is his 6th team.
Oh, Benson! Finally.
Benson. Hey, I told you Buffalo. Buffalo was going to take.
They don't care about small, big. They just amass talent. So.
And I had to show you this, Frank, because we're talking about Chicago, first overall pick. So let's put them in the limelight a little bit. They released their schedule for the next season, and apparently every home game they have a specialty hot dog for the team that's in town. So when Montreal goes to Chicago, it's the Hab dog.
Yeah,
look at that. Look at that Hab dog. Edmonton, they have the Reg dog, which makes sense. Toronto has the 6 dog. I think they could have another name like the choke dog. We got the Rat dog in Florida, the Bear dog when Boston's in town, the Octopus dog when Detroit's in town, dog in a jacket. Yeah, so very creative by the Chicago concession committee there for coming up with specialty dogs. Of course, they want to promote fans to come in. Season tickets have been selling well, apparently, because they got the first overall pick.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
So congratulations, Chicago. All right, well, before we get to the awards, let's go on to the next kind of move here. Kind of had them in a little.
We're not getting to the awards in a while. You know how many trades there's been in the last 4 days?
We have a trade, Philadelphia. This was one that was done earlier, but it was a fairly big move. A lot of players involved. 3-team trade. The big pieces again being Provorov, Cal Peterson, I guess, who everyone at one point thought he was the next king goaltender. Sean Walker. A lot of picks moved around here. What do you think about Provorov going to Columbus?
Shocking. It was. I don't understand. They have. They have Jurasek coming up as a prospect, and they have another one. I can't remember who. They have a bunch of deep prospects. Boquist still hasn't reached his potential, so I didn't understand why you're going to get a D. But look, it's head scratching. Philadelphia, I can understand it. Provorov has fell off a cliff the last couple of years. And LA dumped salary, basically, which they needed to do to get Dubois. They continue to dump salary. And they finally got Dubois, which will eventually, hopefully, get to your trades. But this trade is understandable from the Flyers and the Los Angeles point of view. Conundrum for Columbus. So Flyers gets the 22nd overall pick today that we'll see later on. So we'll see part of that trade being completed. And the way the draft is going, they might get a great player to match with Michkov.
They might, yeah. So, I guess, Provorov fell out of favor in Philadelphia, fell out of favor with a lot of NHL fans, again, because of his stance on Pride Night when that came around. And maybe it was just more of we need to move this guy out, give him another start. Maybe he goes back to his form in Columbus.
Philadelphia is the reason why they traded him. I have no problem. View it, why did Columbus go get this guy? Philadelphia was a shitty team.
Yeah.
They have to rebuild, so that makes sense. They're getting 3 picks, 2 seconds and a first. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's why did Columbus trade for this guy? That's the question.
All right.
There goes Eric's favorite dude, man. Up to the podium. Eric, we're thinking of you.
All right, let's wait for this pick to come in by Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh never gets a first round pick. They're like, what do we do?
Yeah,
We get to speak in the first round. What the hell?
We have to book an extra night of hotels. We have to actually show up on the first night.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell?
All right, yeah. Well, hopefully Ryan will be along soon as we get into some Edmonton Oiler talk a little bit later. They've been pretty quiet, obviously, other than award presentations.
We'll wait for him for the Calgary trade commentary.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll be here before the Calgary pick. Ryan, if you're listening right now, let's go. Put the kid to bed and hop on here because Calgary selection's coming up pretty soon.
Whoa, Jaeger.
Okay, they took Jaeger. So again, projected to go in the top 15.
Jaeger is, if he gets his consistency, he's a high upside all the way to bust. But that's, you're picking what, 14th? So in the teens, top 10, you want at least a double and you go for the home run. When you get to the 20s, you go for the grand slam, not even the home run. You just swing, like either you strike out or but 15, you can go high upside bust. And Jaeger has that. So I have no problem with that pick.
McKenzie had him at number 15. He's fallen 8 spots since the midseason ranking, so he has kind of gone down in terms of the scouting look at it.
See, your Matthew Wood that you thought would go top 10 is still not picked, and that's not surprising.
Yeah, Gabe Perreault. Gabe
Perreault was a climber, but nobody believed it. He doesn't have the size, and did he feed off his teammates? And Oliver Moore, same thing. Second line center on that team. But Wood, Barlow, the power forwards are not coming out usually, unless you count Butt. But Butt is a big butt.
Well, maybe they can get a bonk with a butt, whoever drafting.
Who knows, man? But I like this pick. I have no problem with that pick. With everything that's left, Jaeger started the year as a hot commodity and fell during the year. So hopefully the development guys in Pittsburgh can right the ship. All right, next trade.
Playing in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. All right, this one is going to be fun, Frank, because both you and I are in fantasy hockey leagues, and last season, one of the players I was really pushing to get from your team was Sean Dursey. And, the banter we had back and forth about, Dursey, he's a stud. He's going to be a great player. And just wait until Drew Doughty, retires or is traded. Dursey's going to take that number 1 role. And he's traded to Arizona.
Don't you regret it now, Because Wes has him and he's happy as shit because now he's got nobody in front of him except Valimaki, who I picked up on my farm thinking he would be the number 1 going forward. Now I'm screwed by my own guy. So great trade for the Coyotes, great trade for the Kings. Yeah. They're making room for Brant Clark. And if you can pull up Brant Clark's statistics in the OHL, Glenn, just to show the viewers how dominant this guy was as a defenseman in the OHL, it's otherworldly. It's shocking. Okay, so go down.
That this guy here?
No, Brant Clark. No, you have to. I don't think you spelled his name correctly. Not Brent. Brant.
Oh, Brant.
Yeah, the first one here. There you go. Okay, so 31 games. We're in the suspense. I can't see the rest of the. There you go. Look at how many points he got as a defenseman.
Wow, 61. Yeah.
Look at the playoffs. 12 games, 23 points. That's 2 points a game for a defenseman.
Yeah.
And this guy can't skate, apparently. He skates inwardly. That's why he fell on the draft, blah, blah, blah. So they made room for him and Jordan Spence. He went 8th overall, but he had the talent to go higher, but his skating, blah, blah, blah. Well, dude, look at how he dominated So that's why they traded Durzi. It's like, this guy has to play in the NHL. He has to. So.
All right. So good trade. There's one of those cases.
Coyotes are compensating for their shit butt pick.
Okay. Since we're talking Coyotes, and I've got the Coyotes, original jersey on here. We all know that the arena committee or the city council rejected the building of the arena, so they're going to be stuck, where they are right now. Bettman seems to be, always a fan of the Coyotes, wanting to keep them in Arizona, but I think for the first time, I see a crack in his determination to keep them there.
No, they're staying.
You think they're staying?
Oh yeah, they're staying.
Okay, hypothetically, if they were to move, Kansas City, Houston, or Quebec, who do you think would?
It won't be Quebec, that's for damn sure. It won't be KC because they refused to bow to Bettman's demands. So it has to be. It would be Houston, but it's not. It's going to be Arizona. So don't
really. You think they're still going to?
They're going to fight. Yeah, he's pig-headed. They canceled Pride Night, Army Night, all these charities because of a few asshole players. They canceled the whole freaking thing.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it is. Geopolitically, it is a tough world out there for a lot of people. So Nashville has just made their pick. I'm not sure who the gentleman is, and Calgary will be up next. Before we get to Calgary, though, let's go through one more trade. This one probably the biggest name that we've seen move in the last week, Pierre-Luc Dubois. Speculation he was going to go to Montreal. Montreal wanted him. I think
he pulled the Vincent Lecavalier.
Yeah,
on everyone.
Yep.
Don't forget, Marc Bergevin is in LA now as assistant GM.
Right.
Matthew Wood finally going to Nashville. By the way, power forward. So there's only who's left? All the top 10 are gone finally at pick 15. From most top 10s, there's one left, Sandin Pelika from another list. But yeah, so
now we're getting Dubois. Yes.
Yeah. So Winnipeg, they went volume. So when I saw Fallow and Kupari and Vilardi, I said, what the hell are they doing? But then I saw a second round pick via Montreal. They're still gonna suck next year. Montreal, they're not making the playoffs. So it's going to be a pretty good pick in the second round. So they went volume. So it all depends what they get for Wheeler, Hellebuck, Scheifele. At one point, they can't just get volume because they're going to have a bunch of second rounders. I would have demanded Byfield if I was Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And Byfield now can't play center. Yeah. There's Dubois, Kopitar, Dano in LA. Like, where is he going to play? Fourth line center? So he played well with Kopitar on the wing. But even next year, there's Dano and Dubois making 6 and 8.5. Is he going to play center on the third line? So it's condemned. So Winnipeg should have, demanded Byfield. But they get 3 good players plus a good draft pick for a guy who was going to walk. And LA gets hopefully a Kopitar successor, but they'll be probably disappointed because the problem is Dano wasn't getting the power play chances in Montreal. He was miscast as a first-line center. He's a second-line center. So that means next year, if Kopitar's not back, Dubois is a first-line center. Is he really a first-line center? He's never produced like a first-line center. So they're going to have, 70, 80-point centers with nobody capable of doing 90, 100 points. That fits their style of game. They're more defensive, prevent goals rather than scoring goals. But LA got a great player. They didn't sacrifice much in terms of Vilardi, Fallow and Kupari plus the pick. Second round picks is less than 30% chance of making the NHL. And they got a very good 5-on-5 player. LA sucked at 5-on-5 scoring last year, so that's going to help. So good trade for both. Winnipeg could have done better, but look, we don't know what's in the cards. So for somebody that they were going to lose, not a bad trade. It reminds me of the Montreal trade of Pacioretty. Pacioretty demanded to be traded, and they got Suzuki and a couple of other picks. So it reminds me of that. So that's a great trade for LA, for sure.
Yeah, and LA's met up with Edmonton 2 years in a row in the playoffs. We could see them again next year in the playoffs, and LA definitely has gotten better. I'm wondering, Frank, if Dubois going to LA is more of a player demand kind of thing, and that's why maybe they didn't get the return they could have, because Dubois has to sign another contract, and he may, have said, it's LA. Like, you're sending me to LA, take the best offer you get. So their hands may have been tied in trying to get a Byfield.
No, I think they went with volume. Because Velarde broke out last year, so they probably project him to continue. This is just my own opinion. I would have gone for the center. But look, Kupari is a developing guy. And Kupari, he's a hitter, so who knows how he develops. So look, Winnipeg will do what they want to do. I'm just saying what I would have done, but maybe LA said no way in hell. Oh, we're at Calgary.
Yeah, we're at the Calgary pick, so let's see how this plays out. No clue on what the Calgary team is going to do.
Oliver Moore. I'm calling it. Oliver Moore.
Calling Oliver Moore? I'm going Perreault. Let's go with Mr. Perreault.
Oliver Moore. They need a center, especially if Backlund leaves and Lindholm leaves. Center. That's my logic.
So here's the second Canadian team to pick in the draft. Of course, Montreal picked number 5 with Reinbacher, defenseman. Calgary most likely going to take a forward here. I think it's going to be Matthew Perreault, or not Matthew Perreault, Gabriel Perreault. Who do we got? Here comes the pick. Craig Conroy.
I'm late. I don't know what you have on your video on the screen, but people signing hats.
Yeah. People putting on the cowboy hat there. Look at that. It fits them.
All right, hopefully Conroy drafts better than he trades.
Another kid in a purple jacket. Purple is the color this year. Looks like a smaller guy.
What?
He's probably about 6'2".
Samuel Honzek. Well, he's a center. I was right on the position.
There you go. Honzek. And Calgary has just made their pick. Number 19 projected overall by the Hockey News. And it's like Ryan's ears were burning with Calgary making that pick, because look who
you were supposed to come in before the pick, Ryan.
I was here for about 10 minutes.
Holy God! Okay, Honzek is 6'4", so huge center. So size played a role. Oliver Moore is not that big, so again we have the size discount, up count. So okay, it's not surprising. But he's a huge dude, man. 6'4". All right, not surprising. He was ranked 17th, like we said. The lists are all messed up this year. What did
projected to go number 20 by the
Mackenzie
Sporting
had
News.
him 17th. Yeah, 20th here. Mackenzie had 17th. So
19th by the
anyways.
Hockey News.
All right.
Okay. Well, Ryan, I don't know if you caught any.
Well, we have a one pick break before the next Canadian team. So while Ryan will throw him into the fire, I want you to comment the Toffoli trade.
Oh, well, hey, I'm not going to have to buy a Flames jersey. That team is in some trouble. I don't know. It's, he had 1 year left on his contract, so at least he got something for him.
So Tyler Toffoli, who made no bones about it, wanted out of Calgary. That's what the rumors are anyway. And like a lot of players wanting out of Calgary, and picking up, Sharangovich. There you go. And a third rounder.
He signed a new 2-year contract today, by the way.
Yes. So I don't think Calgary did that bad. I mean, I remember in fantasy, like Sharangovich, was a decent
This is real NHL, dude. This is a terrible trade. Terrible. Toffoli just had his career year, scoring a ton of goals, scoring a ton of points, over 70 points, 28 goals.
It's definitely not a cheerleading trade. It's definitely not a cheerleading trade.
Leader in the room.
But he wanted out. He wanted out, Frank. When you have a player that wants out, your hands are tied.
Like Dubois, like Pacioretty, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Funny, other GMs can
wrangle
out a good return.
Like Kachuk.
Like Kachuk. Like, come on, man. Come on. This is a terrible trade.
This is the result of a new GM in a failing organization. He's going to be in for a hurt.
I'm hoping Conroy drafts better than he trades, because Kent Hughes from Montreal, because Slafosky, I didn't like the pick last year. I didn't like the pick this year. I think Kent Hughes trades better than he drafts. We'll see in 5 years, because Doc trade was awesome. New Hook we haven't talked about, blah, blah, blah. But his first trade out, everybody went, he just gave him away. Like, what the hell is this trade? This guy just got his career year. He's not 35, And it's like, no, he got shafted. New Jersey is dancing in the streets, So, yeah, 30 points in 75 games, man. Oh, yeah. Woohoo. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And a third rounder with maybe 10%, 5% chance of making the NHL for Toffoli. Come on, man. That's a terrible trade. And as soon as it was announced, for those viewers, Ryan has a bet saying he will wear a Calgary Flames jersey if the Calgary makes the playoffs next year, but their probability 73 points.
But look at before that. I mean, he was limited by injuries, I guess, but
career year.
31 years old.
How old is he?
31.
Oh, yeah, 31. He's so over the hill. No, terrible trade. Sorry. Sharangovich is 25. He's a third liner it's a terrible trade.
If it's a second rounder, Frank, if it's a second rounder instead of a third, is it fair then?
Why don't you go to what they paid Montreal for Toffoli? Okay.
For a second.
Go to your Google. Okay, not this. Go to your Google. Say Toffoli, Habs, Calgary Flame trade. Because I remember it. We got a prospect.
Let's check that out.
Toffoli, FFOLI, Habs Flames trade.
First round pick, fifth round pick, Pitlick.
A first rounder? Really?
Oh, yeah.
I am shocked.
And a fourth rounder.
Oh!
And fifth rounder. Sorry,
fifth rounder.
Fifth rounder. And Emil Henneman.
And Pitlick.
And Pitlick. And there's old. But Henneman, can you click on him? I just want to show the viewers what he did, because he came to North America this year. Okay?
Who did Montreal pick with that first rounder?
It hasn't happened yet.
What hasn't happened? Oh, okay.
I don't know what year it was, but look, AHL, he came over to North America. Oh, how many goals did that and how many games? Yeah, bad start, man. and you got they got Sharangovich and a third rounder. And can you go back to the trade to see?
The first rounder was last year's draft.
Okay, so late first rounder, they got that means they got Philip Machar, you're supposed to say. So Philip Machar, he played in OHL last year. He's same country as Slafosky. They were all happy they got drafted together. So,
all right, Frank, while we're on the Montreal Canadiens, let's analyze the move that they made. Alex Newhook, again, big prospect for Colorado for many years. Oh, the wealth that Colorado has, the talent that they have, and they're still making moves. 31st overall pick, 37th overall pick, and Fairbrother. As a Habs fan, what do you think?
Awesome. 31st and 37th pick have a 30% chance of making the NHL. So even if you combine those two, which you can't in statistics, because if you buy 2 lottery tickets, you don't have 1 in half the chance of 14 million, 1 in 7. You still have 1 in 14. But even if you combine them, that's a 60% chance of getting an NHL player. And Newhook is an NHL player. So 100% versus 60 by doing fuzzy math. Politician math. Great trade. Fairbrother got injured, so he's just a contract to get rid of to match the contracts. And Colorado, awesome, because they flipped the 37th pick for Ross Colton from Tampa. So they're happy, and they still have the 31st overall. We're happy. We're hoping for a Doc 2.0. And look at the career stats of Doc last year and Newhook this year. Almost the same. Their best season was almost the same. The total points almost the same. All from the same draft year. Doc, Newhook, Caulfield, all from the same draft. 3rd overall, 15th overall, 16th overall. The running gag is Kent Hughes wants to trade for all the picks in that year. So nothing to lose, everything to gain, because at worst, he's a third-line player. 14 goals, 16 assists last year. So if he's a 15-15 third liner, useful. And if he develops, because he's playing in the top 6, if it clicks with Martin St. Louis system, awesome trade.
But Frank, you don't make this trade without going to his agent, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and saying, if we trade for you, you're going to sign a contract, right? Because this is just for the negotiation rights.
Yeah, but he's an RFA. He has to sign. He's under team control for until age 27, so 4 more years.
Okay, then I didn't realize he was that young still. So he's
Kirby, Doc, and Caulfield, they're all 22s, so they're all in the same age. Suzuki, I think, is a year older, so it fits on the team that they're building.
Okay, well, Detroit is up now, and then we have our third Canadian team to make a pick with Winnipeg coming up. So let's take a peek and see if Stevie Y goes off the board again.
Or maybe he goes reversal. He pulls a reversal and picks a top 10 guy left on one of the boards. Sandin Pellikka.
Yeah, Pellikka. We've got Perreault.
But knowing him, he's going way off the board.
Yeah. Maybe we see Bonk. Bonk.
Edward Sally. I'll go way off the board. Edward Sally, late first rounder.
Okay. I will go Otto Stenberg.
Oh, that's a late first rounder. That's a good one, too. Detroit is crazy ass. They have their own list, man. They're crazy.
Well, the pick is in. The selection is in. Looks like he's about, maybe 6 foot.
Yeah, no, he's taller than 6 foot.
Must make you feel old now, Ryan, because you look at these faces and you go, boy, do they ever look young. What draft?
Oh, they went defenseman, Pellikka, Sandin Pellikka, finally.
Okay, so they went with the highest guy left on the board.
Hey, my reversal was correct. I get two right predictions, finally.
You can email Frank for the next lottery ticket numbers at frankloveshabs@gmail.com.
Because Ryan,
okay.
The beginning of the draft was so messed up.
Well, I almost won my $5 bet.
Yeah, but like it was so messed up. Like I kept calling for Leonard, and then Glenn kept calling for Dvorsky, and it's like all these teams were going off the board. Shimashev, it's like it was crazy. So at one point I said, "Who knows?" But then I called. I can't remember who. Wielander. I called Wielander, I think, and now I called the two Swedish defensemen.
Yeah, Frank's been on a roll. So the highest guy on a lot of boards left is Andrew Crystal from Kelowna. We've got Colton Barlow, Owen Sound, Edward Sale from Czechoslovakia, Musty from Sudbury, Gabe Perreault still there, Riley Height from Prince George. So yeah, still some names to go. So Winnipeg is up next. We'll wait for the Winnipeg.
Crystal was not high on Mackenzie's board.
No, wasn't too high. Okay.
No.
Before we get to the Winnipeg, I think probably the best signing so far, at least the high profile. We've got, of course, Dubois, who I believe signed 8 years in Los Angeles, and Timo Meier staying in New Jersey for another 8 years. They are going to be a perennial team in the playoffs, I think, for many years to come, Frank. They very talented team. Watch out, Rangers.
They lost their goalie, man. Blackwood. Come on, man.
Wow. Does
it matter these days?
Rotating
goalies. Only that backstop the Cup champs this year.
Yeah. But just a great signing for New Jersey. Like I said, I think they could probably win the East next year. Toronto, who knows? Who knows how the Leafs are going to do next year under the new management?
Well, now that Eric isn't here to defend them, I think they're going to do pretty terrible.
All right. So let's just take a quick peek at if other moves here, free agent kind of moves, trades that have been happening over the last couple of days. I think I got most of them. There were a couple smaller ones. We had Riley Smith.
This is a great one. So that's where the new kid on the block did a great trade, because for Pittsburgh, $5 million for Riley Smith replaces what's his name? Some dude, man, who was third liner. So he's going to slip into the top 6. Great value, and it allowed Vegas to sign Barbashev, which they got from St. Louis. So Barbashev is 28. Great chemistry with Eichel. So it's basically, sending away an OG, but allowing for Zucker, I think, is the guy who's a free agent on Pittsburgh. So, like, Smith is a huge upgrade, 60-point guy in Pittsburgh. So, great sneaky little trade for Pittsburgh. And, again, one of these salary cap moves. And, they got a third rounder. So, yeah.
So we got some other signings in the last week. Of course, Dubois signs an 8-year deal, $68 million, $8.5 million cap hit to go to Los Angeles. Dadonov, a 2-year deal with the Dallas Stars, $4.5 million. Gustav Olofsson, 2 years with Seattle, $775K average. Of course, Sharon Govich will sign a 2-year deal, $3.1 million cap hit. Eric's David Kampf, a 4-year deal, $2.4
Who cares about these freaking players, man? They're like fourth liners, man.
Hey, we got to highlight the Leafs. Pontus Holmberg, a 2-year deal with Toronto. And there's that Barbashev one that you talked about that happened today. 5 years, $5 million a year.
So he was younger than I thought. So, and Riley Smith being older. So great move for both teams.
Great moves. Yeah,
that's a cap trade. One thing that's not happening, we haven't seen. Oh, Winnipeg's up to the stand. We haven't seen Gary Bettman announce anything. Oh, we have a trade to announce. That means the Brinkat is playing in Ottawa next year, because he would have gone for a top 15 pick. because they paid a 7th overall last year, remember?
There was a guy in Edmonton here that called into the radio show and said that we should trade Draisaitl for DeBrincat. Yeah, I don't know if he was an Oilers fan or a Flames fan.
Did this guy detour to Vancouver to pick up some mush before calling the radio show?
No, he kind of got laughed off of the show. It was kind of great.
All right, the Jets. Power forward. Colby Barlow. Is that it?
Yep.
Is it?
It is.
I'm just guessing. Because I'm
Haven't
delayed,
flashed the
remember?
name yet.
Again! I'm good for late picks, which usually you don't get. You get the top end of the draft correct, and later it goes all over the place, and I got another one right.
Email Frank for the next lottery picks at frankloveshabs@gmail.com. Okay, Colby
But
Barlow.
only ask me for the last 3 numbers that are going to pop up the machine, because the first 3 I won't get.
All
Amazing.
right, so Barlow goes to the Jets, Chicago, Seattle, Minnesota. So we got a lot of American teams coming up. Next Canadian pick will be the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maybe we see a deal then. That's the last Canadian team that has to pick in round
Erik
1.
Karlsson, DeBrincat, Hellebuck, all these guys would have gone for a top 15 pick, hopefully. So something's up. Things are not going well for the teams trying to trade these people. So I think everybody's going to get stuck where they are. But I'm shocked. I thought they said there would be a lot of trades, but I think, with Shimashev, all these lists being so far apart, people don't want to trade for DeBrincat because they said, I'm getting a top 10 at 16.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody that's picking right now, Winnipeg had Colby Barlow probably top 10. They say, why would I trade? It's like, I'm not going to trade for DeBrincat. And everybody's saying the same thing because Detroit went off the board. Arizona twice went crazy off the board. Montreal went a little bit off the board. Like everybody was going off the board. Like even Nate Danielson, people were saying he might fall in the 20s, and people say, all right, that would be a great pick for Pittsburgh at 14. And he went top 10. So I think everybody's list is very specific to that team. And like I said, the Flyers had to take a break because they were arguing too much, all the scouts. So that's why I think there's no trades happening because everybody's so excited they're getting a top 10 guy.
Yeah, makes sense. Free agency coming up too. Yeah, I thought we'd see at least 1 or 2 big trades during the draft like we usually do. Kind of disappointing that, a lot of the luster is taken away in the days before the draft when some of these moves were made, but they need some time to prepare. Okay, let's shift gears.
Hold on. No. These award shows is bogus. I don't give a shit about them. We can wait for them. We still have half a round to go. I want to go through more trades because there's been impactful trades that you're skipping. Okay, well, how far back do you want to go? We got the Blackwood trade. You want to talk about that one? No, I want to talk about there's Kevin Hayes, which was
Ogazino traded from the Ducks to the Sharks. Maybe you want to talk about that one.
Kevin Hayes trade was supposed to be a mega trade. They asked Tony Krug to waive his no trade. He said no. So the mega trade went from mega to this. And Kevin Hayes and Torts, they did not get along at all. So this is a great trade for the Blues. Kevin Hayes got switched to wing. He got pissed off. To get Kevin Hayes for a 6th round pick and half the cap hit, ask any NHL team, would you have Kevin Hayes on your team for $3.5 million? Toronto should have been on that. Oilers, man. Oilers. Imagine having Kevin Hayes as your 2C for a 6th rounder.
Well,
You
I'm
know?
trying to figure out how this even happened.
Well, they had to make a trade, so Krug, like a bunch of players, like it was like 4, 5, 6 players from each team. But Torrey Krug said, "I'm not waiving my no move clause to go to Philly." So they had to drill it down. And St. Louis, their target was Hayes, so they just gave him away because they wanted the cap relief. Philadelphia is in deep troubles for the cap.
Yeah, but well, yeah.
No, they're in deep shit for the cap. You know? That's why they gave Provorov away.
Well, he shares my birthday.
But you know what I mean? So I wanted to talk about this trade because St. Louis is fast forwarding their supposed rebuild because they sold a bunch of players. Tarasenko, remember, they sold a bunch of players. And now they're getting Hayes for nothing at half the cap hit. He's going to be a great addition to that team. Big dude, wins faceoffs. Damn, man, that's a great addition. Imagine a 55-point guy at $3.5 million.
Look at Frank, minus 22. I know how you love
It's
plus
Philly,
minus.
for fuck's sakes.
Minus
Swiss
20.
cheese goaltender. Swiss cheese goaltenders. Come on, man.
Look at Kevin Hayes is even surprised that Frank let out the F-bomb here. Come on, look at that. Look at Kevin Hayes.
And
All right, I
another
agree.
sneaky
A
trade.
great deal.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had a kind of a list of teams that he was willing to go to because Toronto, Edmonton definitely would have made
His
sense.
list of team was get me the F out of here. Anything but Torts was his trade list.
All right,
So-
which other one do you want to talk about here? We talked about the Hall trade. We talked about the Jersey trade. How about Ryan Johansson?
How about the Hall trade? I want to talk about the Hall trade a little bit.
We already
Okay.
did.
All right, well let's let Ryan.
You can
Ryan
give
can
your
give-
2 cents.
you can
Well, I'm
give your
thinking
2 cents.
this is kind of lining up kind of nice. Maybe not this year, but next year for Edmonton to swoop in on the trade deadline and pick him off of Chicago. Maybe this year. I mean, I would like to see Edmonton try to get him this year at the trade deadline, but this is kind of setting up nice. They just want somebody to be there when Bedard enters the league. But
That's what we said.
they're going to end up flipping him probably before his contract's over. And I would like to see Edmonton there bringing him back home.
Well, Frank and I were talking about this is his 6th team, Ryan. I think there might be an issue with Taylor Hall in the dressing room because 6 teams in his career.
He's kind of been unlucky. I mean, one year he got traded over, bringing in Lucic, and then this one is just being traded over DeBrusque. It's just he's always getting compared with the wrong person. Yeah. I don't think he's an issue in the locker room, not anymore anyway. In Edmonton, he definitely was, but I think he grew up, and you could definitely players do grow up. You see that with Kane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Finally, Oliver Moore went to Chicago, so Bedard and Oliver Moore to Chicago. That's major talent going to Chicago.
That's an A report card, isn't it, Frank? A+ report card.
According to you guys, what's above A? Because Brodzak apparently is an A-. So
okay.
Next trade I want to talk to is a sneaky trade that happened today, which was Colorado acquiring Ross Colton for that 37th pick they got from Montreal. Tampa Bay had no choice with the cap. They're screwed with the cap. They're trying to re-sign Killorn. Ross Colton, third-line player, very a little bit like Newhook, but more of a grinder and excellent on the face-offs. Newhook couldn't win a face-off if his life depended on it. So on the third line, that's going to fit Colorado much better. The other trade we didn't talk about was Ryan Johansson going. So they have their 2C now slotted in, and they have their 3C slotted in with Ross Colton. So 2 great moves from Colorado because they get a little bit like Hayes. They get Ryan Johansson and his 60-point-ish. You know, he goes up and down, but he can produce 80 points for $4 million. They got it at half price, and they didn't give a pick like St. Louis did for Hayes. they gave the rights to Alex Galchenyuk. So they basically got Johansson for Zippo, and then got Ross Colton from the pick from New Hook. So Colorado is playing chess with the rest of the NHL. They're playing checkers,
And Ryan, let's address that. I mean, Edmonton didn't get as far as everyone thought they would go. And Connor McDavid came out and said it was still a good year. They still were making progress. He wasn't happy with losing out, but at least he had some positive comments. But you look at Colorado getting stronger. St. Louis got stronger. Los Angeles has gotten stronger, getting Dubois. How do you feel as an Oiler fan when you see all these other teams making moves, and because of your cap situation, you're just sitting there?
Well, I feel good right now. Maybe we can revisit this before the season starts, but they got to make cap room. And I mean, when it comes to making cap room like this, the draft is not the time to do it. They have to do it between the draft and the free agency, and that's trying to get rid of Kyler Yamamoto, maybe Fogle, maybe CC, things like that. But you also want to see the Oilers go into the season now that they're not in LTIR hell. You want them to see them go into the season with maybe $1 million and a half of space, and that inflates to $4 million at the trade deadline. So you don't really want to see them go in with the best team. You just want to see them be in the playoff hunt all season long, and then bring home at the deadline.
Okay. So Ryan,
winning the league, winning the President's Trophy is not the goal here. Winning the playoffs is. And if that means coming into the season with a bit of a weaker team,
I agree with Ryan. The Oilers can't panic right now. They'll get deals at the trade deadline. Don't forget, Monahan re-signed with Montreal, 1.85 with $15,000 game performance bonus, so $2 million. So that he's going to be in play at the trade deadline. So that was basically a thank you for getting me out of Calgary. Sorry I got injured. I missed the rest of the season because of me, not because of you, because the story came out that he wanted to play against Calgary in December, but he was hurt, and he compensated and fucked up his hip because he was injured as an ankle, whatever. But he really wanted to play against Calgary on December 8th, whatever, and that messed up. So I think that's a thank you contract. And if he plays like he did last year, we're going to get a great pick out of him. And then that would be a great target for the Oilers, because by the trade deadline, that's like maybe $600,000-$700,000 on the cap. So Oilers cannot panic right now with all the moves. Great moves from all the other teams, but the Oilers are not going to miss the playoffs with the team they have. They're not. So who cares? It doesn't matter where you finish; it's where you end up.
Couple names that have been thrown around with Edmonton: Connor Brown. I've heard Corey Perry's name being thrown around. Ryan, what are you hearing in terms of
Corey Perry coming to Edmonton? Oh my goodness, hell going to freeze over too? Jesus. Okay.
Well, hey, any other names that you're hearing?
Seattle with the Edward Sally pick.
Connor Brown would have to take a heck of a pay cut to come here, and he'd have to. It's going to be a gamble. I mean,
Ryan. He didn't play last year. Basically, he got injured. A little bit like Monahan. He's going to take a contract under $2 million just to reestablish his. So I can see him taking a hometown discount just to prove himself.
Well, and he has the chemistry with McDavid from juniors, and they have the same agent and all that good stuff. So, I mean, if he's going to take a cut to go somewhere, it's definitely going to be here. It's just whether or not he wants to bet on himself.
He wants to come. I heard that. So
yeah,
that's a no-brainer because he got injured and missed a whole year. He can't sign long-term, and he can't want the money. So that's a no-brainer for me. And he goes straight into the top six because Yamamoto can't cut it. You know, all these players can't cut it in the top six, and he's proven he can cut it in Ottawa. You know, he was a great top six in Ottawa. He's great on the PK. So to me, July 1st, Connor Brown's signing in Edmonton.
Really?
Well, I hope so.
How about Corey Perry? What do you think, Frank, about Corey Perry signing?
No, not fast enough. That's a mirage signing.
That's a guy you just have in the dressing room.
Yeah, but the West is too fast versus the East. The East is a slower paced game. The West is high flying. And Corey Perry played like shit in Anaheim because he was out West. As soon as he came to Montreal, magic. He played well. Tampa, he played well. Don't put him back out West, man. These Western teams have to stay away from him, So either Tampa re-signs him at a super discount, or he needs to sign elsewhere. Maybe the Rangers as a third liner, fourth liner, because God knows they underperformed. You know what I mean? So, but not out West. No. Connor Brown, yes. Perry, no.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. We're talking free agents, and we probably won't have another show before the free agent hits on July 1st, just in a couple of days. These are Sportsnet's top 10 players on the market right now. Dmitry Orlov, great defender. Who wouldn't want Orlov on your team? Played in Boston last year. Probably going to stay out east somewhere. Frank, you're out east there. What are you hearing about where Orlov might end up?
Haven't heard anything. The only thing I heard is the free agent crop is underwhelming, to say the least. Teams are smart. They're signing their players before they hit free agency. Yeah. So, look, Boston's been making moves. So either they re-sign Bertuzzi or they re-sign Orlov. There's a reason they traded away Taylor Hall. Like New Jersey, they traded away Severson. We talked about the Provorov trade. That's another thing I forgot to mention is Columbus traded for Severson 3 days before. So they got 2 top 4 defensemen when they have Jirasek coming out, Werenski coming back from injury, and all these other prospects. So I don't get it. Peak is probably not going to stay, whatever. And everything's underwhelming. Ryan O'Reilly, where is he gonna sign?
Well, all these guys, the high end guys high end, I say in quotations, in the free agent market this year are going to get squeezed because of the cap. It's only going up $1 million.
Yeah,
and the teams that want to improve don't have the room for these guys. So either they're going to have to make it big in a non-contender, or they're going to have to take severe discounts to play in a contender.
Yeah, Phoenix is gonna have a great time picking off Barbashev. He's signed. He's off the list. Tyler Bertuzzi, we'll see. But I think Boston is making a big push. That's why they traded Taylor Hall. I think it's because he was lights out in the playoffs, and he had never played in the playoffs. So, yeah, Dunbar's value is shit. His career went down the tubes. Yeah. So it's very underwhelming, man. I'm not rushing to sign any of these guys. Even Kane, man. But apparently he's going to do a super discount to stay with the Rangers. Tarasenko, he's not staying with the Rangers. He's going to be too expensive.
Islanders, maybe. Islanders, I could see him going to.
Nah, I think he's going to go back where it fits his game. He likes speed, the game playing fast. He didn't mesh with the Rangers, but I think it's the East he didn't mesh with. Bergeron, why is he even on the list? Who made this stupid list? Bergeron's not a free agent. It's retirement or Boston. Let me guess. Krejci's on the list too? Come on, man.
This is your Sportsnet.
Okay, that says it all.
Alex Killorn.
Dumbasses. That's like having Nicholas Lidstrom back in the day with Detroit as a free agent to be. It was re-signing a 1-year contract or going back home. Bunting is an interesting case, man.
Yeah.
He is a dumbass with a suspension, playing like a dumbass, a little bit like Kadri, but so much potential. Scored over 20 goals? So he can play with high-end talent. So he's a high potential signing, Domi earned a big raise with his playoff performance. So somebody's going to sign him somewhere, for sure. But they won't be like these crazy ass contracts. I'm more interested as where Ryan O'Reilly's going to sign.
Aiden Hill probably end up back in Vegas.
Aiden Hill's going to get a big payday for being behind a good defense.
No, he's not resigning. They have Liner coming back, and they won't have time to
Cam Talbot.
Yeah, here's the rest of the list here. Like you said, overwhelming. A lot of older guys that are getting one step
underwhelming,
closer.
not overwhelming.
Or yeah,
how about that? Oliver Ekman. Have you talked about the Ekman Larson buyout?
Nope.
Oh, jeez. Vancouver is screwed for a long time.
Ghost might be a good signing. Like if he's willing to take a little bit of a cut, might be good. Klingberg, Pacioretty, I believe, announced his retirement or is close to announcing retirement.
Taze is definitely retiring. I've heard rumblings that he'll come to Edmonton, but
Phil Kessel, where does Phil Kessel end up?
Wherever the hot dog stand is.
Chicago.
He's retiring. He's like 37.
He's that old already? Oh, Ben Riemsdyk. Ben Riemsdyk has been tied to maybe coming to Vancouver.
I forgot he was in the league.
Yeah. Other than that,
Minnesota just went way off the board, man. I can't even find the player.
Corpusalo might be a good pickup for somebody, but
he's re-signing in LA.
Yeah, Ryan Graves.
They didn't trade Cal Peterson for nothing. They're going to give his money to Corpusalo. Where's this guy ranked, man? Do you have any ranking for Strammel? He just went 20 to Minnesota. I don't have him on the list here.
This is UP's reaction to that last pick there, Frank. It's like, what the heck? Who is this guy that we're looking for?
Strammel. Charlie Strammel, 6'3", 222. Big dude, man.
There he is, number 41 from Wisconsin.
He went 21st. This draft keeps on getting crazy. I'm telling you, that's why there's no trades, man. People are saying, hey, now they're saying at 22 and over, they're going, I'm getting a top 15 guy.
Yeah. 43 on this list here.
Wow.
He definitely was in many different places.
Hey, Flyers are up next. Danny Briere, second pick of the first round. Who is going to match with Michkov? Any Russians left?
Yeah, I know.
All right, who's left, man? Okay,
Phoenix
Moore's
is waiting.
gone. Oh, Gabe Perreault is still waiting. Who else is waiting?
So we got Philadelphia, the Rangers, we got the Predators. No trades at all during the draft.
Not one. Jaeger's gone. Danielson, Hanze. Oh, Stenberg is still on there. So Gabe Perreault, Steinberg, which you predicted a little bit earlier. Gulyayev, defenseman, he's still there. Sally's gone. Musty still there. Lenstein still there. Crystal still there. Oliver Bond still there.
It was interesting. Speaking of drafts, came across this on the NHL.com site where, different players and the draft year and kind of steals for that draft position, or at least.
Hey, Mailias made it from earlier today. Whoop, whoop. Quinn Hughes made it also.
Yeah. Quinn Hughes, Nylander, Mikko Rantanen going 10th. Forsberg was the one that dropped during that draft class. Remember that? Josh Morrissey going 13th. Carlson, number 15th. Thomas Hertl was a 17th pick. Claude Giroux, of course, that Bobby Clark couldn't pronounce or remember. Travis Konechny has been tied to Edmonton too a little bit in rumors. Don't see that happening. Pasternak, number 25, 25th overall. Paige Thompson.
Edmonton's game plan is to shed salary and sit pretty.
Yeah, until the trade deadline, I guess. Yep. Yeah.
They're going to field a team, but what's the big guy they got from Phoenix?
Bukestad?
Bukestad, yeah.
Bukestad,
so
yeah.
he's 3C. They still need a 2C, but worst case, they'll keep playing Draisaitl as 2C and figure out the wingers, and then they'll make the moves later on. But if they can pick up guys on the cheap, great. If I was them, I would be calling Montreal right about now to ask them for Christian Dvorak, where Montreal would eat half his contract because he's got 1 or 2 years left. And Christian Dvorak is a shooter, you know?
All right. Well, we are going to go through. I want to go through the awards. I prepared these slides, Frank. We're going through the awards. First of all, congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights for their 6th year in the league and their first Stanley Cup. Man, what a change the draft expansion league rules made to both.
I'm going to take another break, okay?
Okay.
I'll be right back. You start with the obvious award, which is
I'll go with Ryan and then
talk Edmonton. All four McDavid trophies.
All right. Okay.
He's the first guy since Ovechkin to win all 4, right?
And only the second guy.
There's somebody between Ovechkin and him?
No. They're the only 2 ever to win these.
Yeah, because the Rocket Richard trophy didn't exist, right?
Yeah.
So, but like, if you go back, but he's like, okay, the second one. So obviously he's the first one since Ovechkin was the first one. But like, that's impressive. So.
All right. Well, we'll speak to Ryan here. Frank, will you go and take your break?
Oh, by the way, Bunk, Radek's son, just went to Philly.
Oh,
we got a son, the first son being drafted. We were looking at all the sons.
Perot will be next. Michkov and Bonk go to Philadelphia. Okay. So, Ryan, we've got the Edmonton Oilers, big awards, Connor McDavid. The NHL has the best awards in sports. Absolutely. Like, look at these. They're not just these little small things that you hold between 2 fingers. Gorgeous awards. The only thing I don't like about this Ted Lindsay one is the name Austin Matthews prominently stands out there.
That was a gimme. That was the only time Austin Matthews had a chance to win some awards, and the NHL ran with it.
Yep. And first and foremost, like, we got the Hart Trophy, we've got the Art Ross, we've got the Ted Lindsay, and what was the 4th one? Rocket Richard. Yeah, the Rocket Richard. What a beautiful trophy. So Connor McDavid is your Ted Lindsay winner. That is the award voted by the players. So his peers.
As he says, that's the most prestigious one to win outside of the Stanley Cup, is the one where the peers say that you're the best.
And I haven't had a chance to look at the voting for this one. Do you know who came second in the Ted Lindsay?
No, I didn't. I don't think they came out with the voting results for this one. At least when I was looking around, I didn't see. Maybe
they didn't. The Hart Trophy, no doubt that Connor McDavid was going to win this. Controversy.
It's just somebody wanting their 10 minutes of fame. That's all that is. I mean, it's a Pittsburgh writer. The only time Edmonton, the only time Edmonton played Pittsburgh this year, they blew them out in Pittsburgh, I should say. Blew them out 7-2. McDavid was the first star with 4 points. So if that writer was maybe going to bed early or something like that, he wouldn't have seen it. But that was just he's looking for 5 minutes of fame here.
So Seth Ruralborough from the Pittsburgh Tribune Review chose David Pastrnak as the first choice. Now, David Pastrnak, well deserving for a Hart vote. Like, I have no problem with that. Jason Robertson, second.
That's iffy.
Ilya Sikorin, third.
That's really iffy.
Matthew Tkachuk.
That guy's fourth, yeah. I mean, he should be
Connor
fourth,
McDavid.
But yeah.
In a league where everyone else picks Connor McDavid number 1, Pastrnak got a lot of second place votes. Even Nathan McKinnon, this Pittsburgh Tribune Review writer, didn't even have McKinnon in the top 5. It makes you wonder what these people are thinking and
why they're voting. He's thinking he's the smartest person in the room. That's what he's thinking right now.
He's probably thinking his name's not going to be published either.
No, I think he wanted his name published. I think he wants the attention because now everybody's going to be looking up this guy.
That's true. And they're going to be looking up the Pittsburgh Tribune, reading his articles to see what he's all about. So he's going to take a lot of criticism, but he's going to get some clickbait traffic. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if we see the Edmonton one on here. I don't see anything from Edmonton on the list that they're showing. I don't even recognize a lot of these names. Bruce Garrosh from Ottawa, McDavid, Pasternak, Tkachuk, Philadelphia.
You have the results of all the votes.
Yeah.
So who's the moron that put Connor fifth? The guy from Boston?
No, from Pittsburgh. Seth Rohrborough, this guy right here from the Pittsburgh Tribune, picked Pasternak, then Robertson.
My second F-bomb, but he should not be allowed to vote for the next 20 years. Sorry.
Yeah, McDavid was number 5, Robertson number 2, Sorokin number 3, and Tkachuk number 4 on his ballot.
You know who messed up the Eric Stahl, Jordan Stahl, Selke vote, eh?
Oh, no.
Yeah, Gordon Miller from TSN. Everybody goes, I bet you whoever voted Eric Stahl second on his ballot for Selke messed up Jordan for Eric. And he went on Twitter, he goes, I double checked and it was me.
Oh.
I wanted to vote for Jordan because Eric Stahl got 1 vote from Florida. Second place vote for the Selke. And somebody says, I guarantee you somebody fucked up. And he goes, yeah, it was me, Gordon Miller.
At least he admits it.
Yeah.
And here is that match league record for individual NHL awards in one season with 4. He's the 7th player to do so with 4 awards. McDavid, Carey Price was the last one, Ovechkin, and then we had 4 previous: Lemieux, Gretzky, Lafleur, and Bobby Orr. So McDavid
and Perreault. 2 sons in a row.
Oh, where did he go to?
New York Rangers.
Rangers, baby.
Okay.
Do we get 3 sons in a row? No, Ethan Gauthier is too soon to get 3 sons in a row. Top 10 guy on McKenzie and a lot of lists, and he went 23rd. That's why there's no trades, man. They go, why would I trade? I'm getting a top 10 guy in my eyes, you know? So
okay, Frank, what were the 4 trophies Carey Price won in 2014?
Jennings, Vezina, Hart, and comeback player of the year. Or whatever, Masterson or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Masterson, yeah.
Oh, he didn't win the Ted Lindsay?
Oh, maybe. When was that?
2014, 2015.
Oh, that might be the Ted Lindsay because it's voted from the players. They created that recently. But it could have been the Masterson if it was from an injury because he had 2 big injuries in his career. So I just guessed. But for sure he did the O mark and got the 2 Gs. Yeah. So, but he actually deserved it.
I think that's the maximum a goalie can win, right? Is 4, maybe 5?
5 is the Masterson.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, time to vent or time to, say good choice by the media. They're choosing.
It is what it is. I mean, I started hearing leading up to this that a lot of the media wasn't considering him to be a rookie. Not Beniers, but not for crying out loud. I can't remember his name right now. He's my damn goalie. Skinner, yeah. Because he's been around the NHL for so long, he's played.
Blah blah blah. It's the rules. He finished second.
No, and that's what I mean. It is what it is. But I don't think he's losing sleep over it. He's had a very good year.
We all knew. We all said it in the previous podcast. Stewart should win, but he's not gonna win. We all had Matty Beniers winning. That doesn't change the fact that Stuart Skinner should have won. The last goalie to win had lesser stats than him. So he should have won. But, Seattle, new team, expansion team, whatever.
We go another year without Edmonton winning a Calder Trophy. Here is the all-rookie team. And again, Owen Power, absolutely a beast. Jake Sanderson looking good in Ottawa. Wyatt Johnson and Matthias Michelli. I'm not as familiar with their play in the league, but
who's going to be the best player on this board?
Owen Power.
Probability-wise, Wyatt Johnson. Just watch.
Really?
He scored over 20 goals, playing no minutes. Look at his junior career after he got drafted, because he's one of these COVID drafts. He exploded after his draft year, D+1. He wasn't supposed to make the NHL on a Dallas team that was in contention, and he bulldozed his way on the team. He's a special guy, man. He's a special guy. If you watch the playoffs, if you watch Dallas games, you saw the commentators mention his name time and time again. And he's the reason Jamie Benn got a resurgence of his career, because Jamie Benn got pushed down to the third line and he played with Wyatt.
Okay. So there you go. That is the all-rookie team. Quickly going through some of the other awards. The Lady Bing going to Anze Kopitar. We had the Mark Messier Leadership Award going to Steve Stamkos.
Didn't really expect that one.
Yeah, that was
Mark actually chooses that one. There's no votes.
Right. Well deserved for Chris Letang going through what he's had to go through last year with the Bill Masterson.
I got a heart attack, for fuck's sakes, man.
Yeah.
It's like second heart attack in his life. And he's playing a high-end sport.
Yeah. King Clancy goes to Michael Backlund. We'll see how long he stays in Calgary, but he's one of those guys that you want on your team. Like every team wants a Michael Backlund. Like what a great underrated hockey player.
You know what you call those guys? The glue.
Yeah.
The glue. He does everything nobody else wants to do. Shitty minutes, always playing against the top end guys, gives a break to your top end guys, because the new NHL is Eichel McDavid, top end versus top end, Kucherov versus McDavid. And this guy allows his teammates, the top end guys, to take a break from the McDavid, because McDavid can play over 20 minutes. It's the glue. Like this guy, I love him as a player. He never lived up to expectations, but he carved himself an awesome career. So awesome for him. Whoever is going to get him, because he has to be traded, so he will be traded. People should be lining up to trade for this guy. If you're a contender, I don't know what his salary is, because I wonder if some teams are boxed out. Let me go look. Because that's the problem now with the salary cap only going up $1 million. You got a bunch of teams that should have him as a target, not being able to afford him, even with the 50%.
Yeah, Lamarillo came out the other day saying that
5.3 mil. So like Tampa can't afford him, like a third liner. Edmonton can't afford him. Rangers can't afford him. New Jersey can't afford him anymore with Timo and Toffoli trade. But he's somebody that should be targeted. I wonder who's going to target him. Maybe Toronto, because
maybe Pittsburgh.
Great. No, Pittsburgh. They don't have the cap space, unfortunately. That's another team that doesn't have, unless they get rid of Petrie. But Toronto with the O'Reilly quote-unquote cap hit that they won, for him at 2.6 mil, he'd be great in Toronto as a third-line C. So I would be calling. Who else, man? Not a lot of people that can afford this dude. You know?
Well, Eric Carlson. Eric Carlson's another big name out there that people are watching what happens with him.
I'm sorry, I just saw the next pick. Tanner Molendick. Try to find that on your freaking list.
All right, you've given me a challenge here. Let's try and find Tanner Molendick. All right, there he is, number 33.
North America. 33
33.
going 24. Second round, they're going in the first round. He's 5'11" as a D. Wow.
Stramel went above him.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
It's that people have players ranked differently.
Nashville's their second pick, eh? They went Matthew Wood, and now this dude, man, Tanner Molendick. Well, they're good at developing D's, so hopefully their magic still works.
I'm trying to find him here on the hockey news one. See where he is.
Control
number
F.
49.
There you go, 49 for 5. He's not on the even on the honorable mention. I can't find Molendick. Come on, yeah, whatever. I'm telling you, this year, man, crazy. Yeah, I can't find him on the McKenzie, even the honorable, whatever. Anyways, whatever. They saw something in him.
All right.
What's his stat like? Whoa, 37 here. Yeah, that's a reach, man.
Yeah. Okay. Where do we? We're leaving off on
Eric Carlson.
Carlson.
Yeah, we said he was a unanimous. He
Yep.
blew everybody out of the water. People say, oh, he was minus whatever. Okay, you play on the Sharks, man. The Sharks as a team were minus 400, whatever. I'm exaggerating. No, he's hands down the winner. If you don't think he's the winner, you don't know hockey. So everybody on Twitter fucking complaining, learn, like Snoop is learning about hockey. Chance the Rapper is learning about hockey. You can also learn about hockey. Because if you don't think he deserved it, you know shit about hockey.
Frankie, where's he playing in October? Frank is speechless.
Yeah, I think
Clip this. Frank is speechless.
Because he hasn't been
that
traded.
guy.
Because he hasn't been traded today. He's gonna be in San Jose another year. Unless Greer tunes down his price. He wanted a first rounder. We're at pick what now? 20-something, late first? Who's left? St. Louis is left. They don't have the cap space for him. San Jose's next. That's the team trying to trade him. Avalanche, Toronto, no cap space. Blues again. Carolina, they're not going to trade for him. They just got Burns. Avalanche, not going to trade for him, and Vegas, not going to trade for him.
Vegas is in on everybody, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up in Vegas.
No. They can't have Pietrangelo and Theodore. So unless Pietrangelo goes the other way, but that doesn't fit either.
Vegas is in the market for the newest, shiniest toy. They don't care who they have.
Yeah, but they have no space, man.
They make space.
11 and a half space? That's exaggerated.
Someone will be injured in on LRIT until the playoffs, and then they'll bring him back. Okay.
So we'll see where he ends up, but
any errors here, guys? Any errors on the first team?
Yeah, I don't see Matthews on there.
Yeah, where are the Toronto guys?
He sucked. You went from 60 goals to like 40. Come on, man. I don't care what Eric says. He had a bad year. Captain Underpants, man. He shit in his pants, man.
Lindholm, a little bit surprising, maybe ahead of someone like Yossi. So Lindholm, of course, Boston had such a great year that some of these guys maybe outperformed a little bit, being on a great Boston team. Sorokin makes sense. Olmark makes sense. I think they got it right in terms of the all-star team here. I'm glad to see both Draisaitl and McDavid get on there.
Probably one of the only few years that is ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, finally, something that's off the board. Remember that name you said earlier, Glenn? Stenberg went to St. Louis.
There we goes. St. Louis, Stenberg. Yeah, I think I said he might go to Detroit, but yeah, he went to St. Louis.
In the top 10.
Yeah. Well, they
That
did
was
take
when-
a Swede, though. They
Oh,
took
yeah,
a Swede.
Yeah, on the summit. But anyways, like we were talking, yeah, it was the second Detroit pick. We were going with off the board. Well,
Yeah.
Stenberg. At least he's not as off the board as Mullendick.
And of course, we got to talk about the best team in the regular season last year, some of the things that they've done. I didn't realize that Boston is going with a new logo this year. We see their previous logos. I love that 1948-49 one. This is what they're going with this year. I don't like it. I don't like that yellow circle around it.
No, it's got to be black.
It's-
It's got to be. Yeah, yeah.
So they're going back to the 1950s and 60s and 70 look of their logo. So that is one thing that Boston is doing. Of course, the Jack Adams goes to Jim Montgomery, well deserved. But again, when you have a great team, should you get Coach of the Year still? I don't know. I think the Edmonton coach finished 7th or 8th in the voting. Probably we'll see his name a little bit higher in the years to come, I would think. So Jim Montgomery, Jack Adams winner. I had picked the
I'm
Lindsey
sorry.
Ruff.
The shocking part, he deserved to win, by the way, because he took a good team and made them great.
Lindy Ruff should have been. I had Lindy
No,
Ruff.
the one that got shafted. Look at the final tallies. The guy they got rid of, Cassidy, took a Vegas team that didn't make the playoffs and made them the number one team out west. And I think he finished 5th, 6th, or 7th. And then Jack Adams, and he got thrown to the curb. They fired him. And it's like, he doesn't get Jack Adams consideration being the number one team from non-playoffs. Come on, man. You know, yes, Lindy Ruff, New Jersey, he should have been in the top 3, and I think he was a finalist, by the way. But my top 3 would have been Montgomery, Ruff, and Cassidy. But Cassidy was not even in the top 3, and that was my top 3 because Boston just went like mental, you know.
Yeah, Boston had definitely a career. Just looking for the voting results here, if I can find a site that has all the different placings. Yeah, I don't really see any concise.
Jack Adam, finalist, maybe. Montgomery, blah, 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 Sportsnet. Haskell finished the top 3. Okay, do they have...
All right, I did find one site here. So here's the rookie of the year, the Calder, Stuart Skinner, far back in second place, Owen Power in third. And then, yeah, it was no contest there in terms of the Selke, Bergeron, twice
Almost
as many.
unanimous. That's great. Next.
Escher, Lady Bing, Kopitar, Hughes came second for the Lady Bing Award. And here we go for the Coach of the Year. Yeah, it was 79 first place votes to Montgomery. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, but look at Cassidy, man. It's like, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
But Seattle's not bad, too. It was tough last year. All 4 of them, like, really outperformed. So.
Yep. All right, let's check the draft here. No, the next pick has not come in yet. So we're talking about Boston, the next trophy, Vezina. Well deserved again. I think all of us picked Ullmark for the Vezina winner.
two of you did, and the two people with brains did not. And then
Who did they pick? Sorokin?
No, I think we picked Hellebuck. Me and was it Eric?
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, Hellebuck. Yeah.
Or was it you, Glenn? I think somebody changed their vote and agreed with me that
was me. I changed my vote.
Oh, so it was you that went to Hellebuck because the Vezina is the best goaltender in the league, not the best stats. That's the Jennings, and he won the Jennings. But Hellebuck went on a 13-game winning streak. His stats, he was the best goaltender. Sorokin was better than Ullmark. If you look at Ullmark's stats versus his backup, they're almost identical. So he was not the best goaltender. He was on the best defensive team. It's not like what Carey Price won both, where he was dominant. Patrick Roy was dominant, blah, blah, blah. It's like when Martin Brodeur with the left wing lock, he would face 20 shots a game. He deserved the Jennings. He never deserved the Vezina. Hasek, playing on the fucking Swiss cheese, fucking no defense, Buffalo Sabres. He deserved the Vezina. You know what I mean? Cujo, playing with Toronto, deserved the Vezina. Not 20 shots. Oh, we're not going to allow any shots from up close. Brodeur, he's a Hall of Famer, but Roy, Hasek, Belfort, Eddie the Eagle, Cujo, they're all better goaltenders. And this is complete bullshit, because if he's a Vezina, Swayman's a Vezina winner too, you know?
Yeah.
You have to outplay your second. If you don't outplay your second goaltender, it's a system. You know? It's a result of the system, not the result of your skills.
And of course, first ballot Hall of Famer in the future, Patrice Bergeron with the six-pack winning the Selke. Yeah, look at him. Look at him. How can you not like this Montreal, Quebec native Patrice Bergeron? Second round pick, by the way.
Quentin Musty just went to San Jose.
Quentin Musty. Yeah, Quentin Musty was in that 20 range, I think. For
Will Smith and Quentin Musty, man. The shifty center with the power forward. Pretty good draft for San Jose, man. I like it.
Musty projected to go 21st overall by the Sporting News.
No, 26th. What was he on the... Hold on, I'll go look at Mackenzie. Musty went 25, so he went 26th.
And in the hockey news, he was 17th.
See, so that's a pretty good. I like San Jose's draft. Oh, we're 2 picks away from Toronto. And traveling is allowed since Calgary's pick. Traveling is now allowed to be at the draft table for the Leafs.
All right. Well, maybe we'll have our first trade. Maybe Toronto's going to make some sort of move here.
No.
To trade that pick off. But
no.
that's the most disappointing thing of this draft so far is not one single trade. Gary Bettman has not had
one. That's crazy. Last year we had 2 in a row. Remember with the Habs, they made 2 trades to get Doc. And they announced the first trade, everybody's booing. Boo! Romanov for the 13th pick. And we were still in pick 4 or 5. You know, they made their pick and then people were picking. I think around 5th or 6th, they announced the trade. And everybody, boo, why do we want the 13th pick? And then we have another trade to announce. Like, everybody's going, what? And then the 13th pick and the 4th rounder for Kirby Dach. Then everybody's applauding. Boo, yeah! But this is shocking because everybody predicted, because this draft was so all over the place, that there would be tons of trades. And I think because it was so all over the place, there have been no trades because people's lists were so different that they said, I'm not trading a top 10 for your chump, you know? No. So, but that means tomorrow might be super interesting because a lot of first rounders on people's lists are going to be available tomorrow. And when people get overnight to think about the picks, the early second rounders, they get very valuable because then there might be a GM saying, my 13th overall is still available. Screw that, man. I'm trading. I'm making an offer for the guy who's picking 33rd because I'm getting the 13th overall. You know? Like Owen Beck, everybody says, what the hell is he doing on day 2? And Montreal picked him first. And we say, they got a great deal. He never should have made it to day 2. You know? And it was Jagger Furcus from Seattle. Everybody goes, what is he doing on day 2? Like, that's what you're going to get tomorrow with all these crazy-ass picks we're getting. So, so it's going to be interesting. You're going to get trades tomorrow, for sure.
All right. Well, we're going to sign off here after the Toronto pick here. We've been on for over 2.5 hours already, and there's still a lot of people hanging in. Looks like we still got some eyes on there. So if you want to ask any questions about some of the players drafted today or fantasy hockey kind of picks or anything like that, feel free to put it in the chat. You guys are pretty quiet today, even though we have a few hundred here. Great to see you. And we'll probably be back at some point in the summer. I would like to go back and do that redraft of the 2013.
We have the third. I think we should combine the redraft with maybe a week or two, depending on how the signings go. Because though it's an underwhelming free agent, we should combine free agent thoughts with the redraft.
Yep, we'll definitely have to organize.
But not a live show, eh?
No, we'll do a recorded show, and the regular season gets underway again second week in October, where Edmonton will play back to back with Vancouver. Philadelphia will be in town in October. The Rangers, Calgary. Finally, we get that rivalry. We'll see what Calgary
the
looks
Heritage
like.
Classic, the boot.
Yeah.
Callan Ritchie just went to Avalanche. That's a sneaky good pick, man. Fuck Colorado, man. Wow. Callan Ritchie was 21st on Bob McKenzie's list, and he's a sneaky good pro game type player. So people said, like, okay, he's going to be good in the NHL. Some people are great in juniors, but his game translates to the NHL. So great pick from Colorado at number 27. All right, Toronto, they don't know what the hell's going on now because they haven't picked in the first round since Austin Matthews, Marner days. So all the people, but they go, what? First round? What do we do? Well, we have to go up? Okay.
Toronto would like to select Connor Bedard.
We've always been drunk in the past years on the first day, man. So who's left? Jaeger's gone.
We need a goalie drafted the first round.
No, I told you earlier. Stop fucking fantasizing, dude. It's not happening, man.
Mikhail Gulyayev.
No, he's too offensive. He's just one-way player. I think they're going to take... Let's see if I'm 4 out of 5. No, Richie just went, by the way. That's the one I told you was a great pick from Colorado. I think they go with Brindley, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Brindley.
Gavin Brindley. That's my guess.
That's a little fella.
What?
He's 5'8".
Yeah? What's the problem?
Toronto wants big, tough guys. Okay,
yeah, they're all gone, man. They're all
I'm going to call my shot here. I'm going to go with 6'7", Michael Hrabal.
He's a goalie, dumbass.
There's my pick.
Help in the corners.
I'm still going with him. Michael Hrabal, 6'7" goalie. Woo.
Yeah. All right, people, do not ask Glenn for 649 numbers ever. Ever. Ryan, shoot your shot, man.
I hope they take him.
Here, Glenn, help him out. Have a list up and just browse. No, don't go 36. Go earlier, for God's sake. We know Toronto's stupid. They're not going second round here. Oh, they might go Gauthier. They might go the safe route.
Riley Height.
Yeah,
Bradley Nato.
What?
Bradley
NATO.
Okay, my 5'8" guy's not good enough, and then you take another 5'8". Well, at least you weren't the one bitching on me on my height. It was your father.
Did Andrew Cristo go?
Nope. Hey, he's 5'9", man.
Yeah.
He can't go because apparently Toronto only likes big guys.
Hey, that inch makes a difference, Frank. That 1 inch will make a difference.
Who was 5'8" when they got picked by Montreal in the 15th pick? Yeah, Cole freaking 30 goals Caulfield.
And then Oilers picked Kyler Yamamoto 22nd overall.
Yeah, but that's 22nd overall.
How do you pronounce this guy's name?
Brzusterwicz.
There's a jersey you want to get.
All right, I'm going to predict Crystal now, okay?
Okay. I'm going with the goalie.
Crystal is going to Carolina. Pick 30. Or if they pass on him, Colorado going with their previous pick, which was awesome, Callum Ritchie. 6'2", they're going to pick Crystal at 31st with the Montreal pick, which Montreal will regret not picking because Andrew Crystal, I think, is going to be freaking good. All right, Toronto's up. Dum, da-dum, dum.
People are watching.
I still can't. I'm looking at the draft board behind the Leafs. I still can't gather that Daniel Butt went 12th overall.
Everyone in the chat, Frank, is saying breathe, 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 Frank, breathe.
Breathing is underrated, man.
And I don't think you'll get teased anymore about not buttoning your shirt up because look at Connor McDavid does the same thing. All right, who do we have?
No questions?
6'7" goaltender.
Easton Cowan. They went small, but I don't know who this guy is, man. Easton Cowan, Canada, OHL. So he's on the North American list somewhere. He's on the first round for McKenzie. That's for damn sure. So Toronto said, hey, man, let's pick from our third round list. That's what we're used to.
They grabbed the wrong piece of paper.
Who is this guy?
What's his name?
Cowan.
Easton, like the Easton baseball bats? Cowan. Cowan.
There he is.
90th.
90th. Third round. I almost got it. That's like 4-6 picks from the third round. I'm a fucking genius, motherfuckers.
Eric, if you're listening, go get your Easton Cowan jersey right now. They're going to be hot.
Who did I say they were going to pick? Gavin Brindley? And you fucking bitched at me? And for 2 inches, they go for Easton Cowan? Oh, my freaking Lord. Unbelievable.
Let's check the hockey news just to see if he's any higher on the hockey news.
He won't
Is
be.
he higher than 90? There he is.
89. Unbelievable. What a waste, man. Why keep the pick? Why keep the pick?
If we keep looking at projections, he'll make his way to number 1.
They could have sold off this pick, got a second rounder, a third rounder, got another player on their list, and then got Cowan a third. But at least they would have had, let's say they picked Cowan second just to make sure they got him because apparently people wanted a guy from the third round and the first round. But they would have had him on the second round. They would have gotten an extra pick. They don't pick until the 6th round or something.
There you go, number 70.
Tomorrow morning. They can sleep in. Have this junior clerk track their fucking list, which is fucked up because it's going to be hard to track 5th rounders and the 2nd rounder. He's going to, not on my list. Oh, not on my list either. He's not going to have much to cross off. What a dumbass pick, man.
Their scouts were saying take Hunter, but the GM couldn't pronounce it, so he said no. We're going to go with Easton. It's a cooler name, Easton.
This is unbelievable. Seriously, unbelievable.
70th
Easton,
overall on this site. Whew.
right winger, 70th. That's the best so far.
Yeah, he'll eventually get to number 1.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
man.
he'll be the rookie of the year next year.
I don't think we
Carolina
can.
went, oop, there it is, because they're hoping their next pick is not going to get picked by Toronto, and they went, huh? What? Hey, guys, we don't have to think anymore. Is he
St.
even
Louis.
on our list?
Easton who? Oh.
Oh, my freaking Lord.
Now we got to take a look for him.
We have 4 picks. Like, what's his stats, man? Yeah. All right, I'm taking a little break. I'll be back because laughing is making me want to have a little bio break. I'm laughing too much, man.
Here he is. Here he is, Frank. Here he is. There's the first round pick.
Okay. 68 games, 53 points. Owen Beck had better stats as a first, second round pick last year. Unbelievable. Crazy.
Frank is on fire tonight, everyone.
Well, right now we can listen to this Toronto Sports Network defend this pick.
Oh yeah, that's probably what they're doing. They're probably
They're calling Toronto geniuses finding this guy late.
great pick. He was so undervalued and underrated, and Toronto saw something in him that they knew he was top 30 material. Watch out for that name, Easton Cowan. Well, 53 points in 68 games. That's not horrible.
Could hear the toilet flush.
And there you have it, folks. That's what Frank thinks of the current Toronto pick. You heard the sound effects right there with the flushing of the toilet. You get nothing but quality on the Average Albertan Podcast with the flushing of Frank's toilet.
I didn't close the door because that's such a shit pick, man. Oh, my God.
Frank just couldn't hold it anymore, folks. You heard it right here live on the Average Albertan Podcast.
And by the way, it's unbelievable. I don't know. Like, I know you were talking about his stats. Like, where was he on his team? Was he the best scorer or was he? Because sometimes Owen Sound might have sucked.
Well, London Knights, let's take a look at their regular season.
Oh, it's not Owen Sound. I thought it was Owen Sound. London Knights, regular season.
It doesn't show their stats here.
Okay, let me go on. What's his name again? Easton
Cowan.
Easton Cowan. DB. Okay, who's? Oh, St. Louis just picked.
They probably went with the top 30 guy, Theo Lindstein.
Defenseman, Sweden again. I don't know. Is he a top 30 guy? This is
according to the Sporting News, he is.
Oh, he's 26th on McKenzie.
Oh, so they made a smart pick.
Or not a dumb one. Oh, poor Eric, man. There's no hope for him. It's like trade the pick, man.
Number 41 on the Sporting News.
All right. So you want to know who outscored Easton Cowan last year on the London Knights? Playing 9 lesser games than Easton Cowan. A defenseman, Logan Mayouf, Montreal prospect, got same number of points, 53 points in 59 games. And Easton Cowan is behind Sean McGurn, George Diaco, Denver Barkley, Logan Mailloux. So, wow. Shocking. Shocking.
Well, let's take a look where he is. He's Easton Cowan. Where are you? There he is. He finished 77th overall in the OHL scoring.
That screams first rounder, man.
And here, all these starred players are in the draft here. So we've got not many. Nobody.
Ay.
All right. Well, we're down to 3 picks to go. You think this is where
3 picks,
Crystal?
and you need a goalie to be picked, Glenn.
Yeah, I said a goalie would go round 1.
I don't see Carolina, Avalanche, or Vegas picking a goalie. So your pick was St. Louis, who just picked that they would go for a goalie. So you're screwed, man.
Yeah, I thought they would go for a goalie.
All right, Carolina. Is that their first pick? Yes. So Carolina. Let me go see if I can go. Ooh, Andrew Crystal. That's my pick.
I'm going Lenny Hamiholanano. They got a lot of names on that team with a lot of Western European names.
Well, they're the Finland, with Sebastian Aho. That's not a bad pick, actually.
Lenny Hamanihaho. They got 2 Ahos on their team then.
So I thought Daniel Butt was a bad pick from Arizona, but Toronto just said hold my beer. Because at least Daniel Butt was a first rounder. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The worst pick of the first round. I don't care who's getting picked the next 3. Unless they pick an eligible player, Toronto wins the crown for the worst pick of the first round.
Oh, by far, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not even a debate. You don't have to go. You don't even have to ask Ryan, who's not a super expert. Like it's unanimous from anybody that has. It's like, come on, man.
I dare you in a Real Deal Dynasty there to draft him in the 3rd round. Add him to your farm team. Come on, Frank. Add him to your farm team.
Yeah. No, thank you. I wouldn't even draft him to my AHL farm team.
28th overall. You have a 1st round pick. At least trade it if you're going to take this guy. Like,
yes.
Get a 2nd and 3rd rounder.
Yes.
And still get him.
Yes. That's so stupid. Oh. Traveling, man. What was his record drafting for the last 9 years? So Matthew Tkachuk was a no-brainer because he was 6th overall. But did he make good picks in the late rounds?
No.
All right. So his legacy lives on.
All right. I don't have the screen up here. Is Carolina up there at the podium?
No, they're still talking to Trevelling, saying, hey, dude, what the fuck were you doing? What? I wasn't at the draft table. I was at the bar fucking shooting shooters, man, because I had to wait till Calgary picked 16th. You know how long that is? That's 2 hours, man. I did about 16 shots with this hooker.
And for all the kids out there, we're talking rugby. Okay, we're talking rugby. He was doing shots with some rugby players.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's 8:30 over there. It's 10:20 here. There's no kids on the podcast out east. Okay, they're picking.
Good friend, David Boyle. You've been a tremendous friend, mentor for all of us here.
What did I say, Crystal? When you went what?
Linda
that's
Holden.
Finlander.
Yeah.
Dum.
Carolina's proud to select Bradley.
Oh, hey, it's my guy, Nato.
Wow, you said that a couple of picks ago, but I'm proud of you, man. You just came in late and just named somebody that was picked eventually. That's pretty cool.
Bradley Nadeau from Penticton.
And he was in the BCHL. That means he's going to the NCAA or something. He didn't play juniors. That's what they do when they what is it? Hey, at least he's 35th. That's not like crazy ass Leaf reaching, you know?
Frank, this guy is 55 higher than the Leafs pick. 55 picks higher.
And he's 5'10". Like, what the hell did Andrew Crystal do to piss off everyone? You know? Crystal was a top 10 when the season started.
It's too bad that Toronto didn't have another pick this round because, Albert Wickman is still there. Tristan Bertucciuli is still there. Like, they got some really high-end picks coming up. Cam Squires. It's too bad they didn't have another one.
Yeah, they would have dominated that third to first. All right, so who's left? Who's left on Guliev, that offensive defenseman? He's 23rd on Mackenzie's list. So he's the
Has this guy gone yet? Lukas Drajovic?
No.
27th.
Yeah.
Jaden
so I think
Perron?
the highest rated one is Guliev at 33rd from my calculations. Everybody else is gone.
22 on this list here, Guliev.
Okay, so who's next?
Avalanche, and then finally with Vegas.
Vegas might go D, so they will pick one of those guys, one of the two Ds. And Crystal. Who's next? Avalanche. They're going to take Crystal. You want to? Yeah. That's my guess.
Yeah, he fell pretty far. He was 16th on this list here.
Oh, yeah, but he was top 10 at the beginning of the year. So I'm predicting Crystal to the Avalanche and one of the two Ds that we talked about, Guliev, whatever, or whatever the other guy is, Shimashev. No,
Dragonovic.
Yeah, Dragonovic to Vegas.
I still think a goalie. Gonna take a goalie.
It's not gonna be a goalie. Stop fucking
goalie.
Smoking crack.
Goalie. Carson Bajarnason.
So Anaheim picks first tomorrow. They have Dostal, so they're not picking a G. Columbus has Tarasov. They're not picking a G. Chicago, who do they? Oh, they have Comesso. They're not picking a G. San Jose is not picking a G. Tampa's not picking a G. Coyotes not picking a G. Buffalo not picking a G. Capitals. Who do they have? Ooh, Capitals. You might get your G at pick 40, dude.
So when's the first Edmonton pick there, Ryan? When do they pick? Round 2?
Yeah, round 2, and they don't pick again until 6 and 7.
Oh.
They only have 3 picks.
They pick 56, but they're not going a G. They have Stuart Skinner.
It's weird around the city this year. For 10 years, we knew exactly when the draft was, what players we were going to get, and everything like that. In the last couple of years, it's been whatever.
You know what's interesting tomorrow is Detroit has picked 41st, 42nd, and 43rd. 3 in a row.
Really?
Yeah. If you go, I don't know, I'm on NHL.
Yeah.
If you go on top, you can go by round. And if you go round 2, yeah, there you go. Round 2, you get the preview for tomorrow. That's what I've been looking at to see when I predict. And see, Detroit. So I think the earliest a G could go is Capitals, 40th. Montreal probably would have picked a G at 37.
Detroit has a lot of picks there.
That's crazy. Oh, yeah, they traded everyone.
Guliev.
The pick is in.
Guliev they got.
Is that what I said?
No.
I
said Vegas was going to pick Guliev.
Yeah.
Okay, so Crystal, man, is going to fall to the second round, man. Well, at least I got Guliev 1 pick off. That's pretty good. Yeah, he's a small defenseman, but he's like Kel McCarr, but not as good. Quinn Hughes, so he's a small guy, but all offense. See, he can help open up the offense. He's like, smooth distributor. So Quinn Hughes, it's like, but I don't think he's as good. But still, he's 5'10", and as a defenseman, that's why he fell. I can't believe Crystal is not going to get picked in the first round. He was top 10 at the beginning of the year. Wow.
Yeah, maybe it's
everybody's forgotten he's there.
Personality.
Crystal's problem is he doesn't go in the high traffic areas. You can get away playing the peripheral in juniors, but once you get to the NHL, the dirty areas is where you make your money. And I don't think people at 5'10" think he can survive there. So I think your other D that you had,
Dragovorovich.
I think he might go to Vegas because there's nobody else left on the Mackenzie list. Once again, man, his first rounder will be over 80% accurate. Ethan Gauthier hasn't been drafted. Nato just got drafted. He was 31st. Riley Height. Is he, what is he? Is he big guy? I'm clicking on him. He is stats. Ridley Height. What is he? 5'10". No, he's not a small guy. Because Vegas needs defensemen in their system. And at this point, you're looking for high upside home runs. Like Oliver Bonk is gone. I think everybody's gone except two or three guys.
They're just going to trade it for an all-star player in a couple of years anyway, so they don't really.
Of course. But that's why they have to go for the super upside. Because Hanzek is gone. Like everybody's gone from McKenzie. McKenzie strikes again, man. Wrong order, but his first round, he's going to have Gauthier, that hasn't been drafted. Crystal has Theo Linston. I think he got drafted, right? Yeah, he got drafted by somebody not long ago. And he's going to have Gavin Brindley. So 3 guys. And Ridley Height. So maybe 4 guys. We'll see. And Dragivonovich, whatever. We'll see who Vegas picks. Because there's 4 guys from Mackenzie's list that haven't been picked yet in the first round only. He's got 28 so far. And if he gets 29, that's 3 out of 32. He's over 90%.
4 Americans drafted, 4 Russians drafted. We've got 4 Swedes drafted. So pretty even distribution, of course, most Americans.
By the way, you were asking about draft grades, and we gave somebody else an A or whatever, A+.
Yeah.
But Philly gets an A+ also.
Yeah, Bonk and
Michkov. That's A+. All right, last pick. Hey, we made it to the last pick, man.
Here we go. 3 hours and 4 minutes into it, we get to the last pick.
At least there's the one good thing about Vegas making the pick. They won't have to congratulate Vegas for winning the cup.
No, but they'll show off their rings or something.
No, they don't have the rings yet, man. They come like way late. I think they have it ready just before preseason. That's why they give it to the players.
Yeah, usually they do a pre-game, first game ceremony.
Yeah.
All right, with the last pick of the first round, the 32nd pick overall, the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Buffalo with Zach Benson 13th. Wow. I'm looking at all the picks now. Some people got good value, man. Yeah, Mendelik, whatever, then that's a...
Oliver Moore at 19.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Oh yeah, Toronto gets an F.
No, they get an E. They get an E for Easton.
In French, an F is an E, échec.
Oh, who they pick?
Here we go. Last pick is.
You look like Nugent Hopkins.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And leadership in the game. So all the best to you in the future, David. The Vegas Golden Knights are pleased with the 32nd selection in the first round of the entry draft to select from Frölunda, Sweden, David Edstrom.
David Enstrom.
Enstrom. I don't recall seeing that name.
All right, so Mackenzie has 28 out of 32. So over 85%. Enstrom. Where the hell is he? Whoa.
Enstrom. They've been drinking the Toronto Kool-Aid.
There it is.
63rd.
No, not the Toronto Kool-Aid. Nothing beats the Toronto Kool-Aid.
63rd. That's still 30 picks higher than the Toronto guy. So,
But he's 6'3" at least. He's not 5'10", 90th pick. At least he's got size. Let's go look at his stats, man. What are they seeing that nobody else is seeing? So Cameron Allen, which was a first rounder to start the year, not picked. Andrew Crystal, top 10 guy, not picked. Caden Price, top first round when the season started, not picked in the first round. There's been crazy ass changes to I still don't see him. What's his name again?
David Enstrom. I can't find him on this other list either.
I know. It's David Enstrom.
There it is there. From Frölunda, Sweden. David Enstrom.
Oh, Edstrom.
Edstrom.
They'll have him traded in a year anyway.
Oh, well, it's in Sweden. They wait 3 years for him to look good. David Edstrom, center. European Elite, 185. Hockey DB already has it updated. Round 1, pick 32. 4
Really?
points in 11 games. And then 28 points in the juniors and 28 points. Okay. He's not as bad as the other dude. Wow.
All right.
And
So
this
round-
officially confirms two things. One, Glenn is past his due date because no goalies were picked. And two, shockingly, I would have lost a lot of money. Not a freaking single trade in the first round. Not one.
Yep. And
I
Fantilli going third is a little bit of a shock too.
Oh yeah, but I'm just the general shock. Yeah, Fantilli, we weren't on camera yet, but that I couldn't believe. No, I was like, that's why I was saying in the chat, get online now. This is crazy. In the last hour, 2 hours, there were rumblings that whatever the GM is the next Verbeek was leaning Carlson. I thought that was noise to get, maybe a pick swap or whatever, bait somebody else to trade for the second overall. A little bit when Montreal said, "Oh, we might pick Cooley last year," blah blah blah. But when they said Carlson, I went, huh? Like, Fantilli was so dominant in the NCAA. I know he's older, but still, that was shocking. But the shocking is no trades. I think that's more shocking than because Carlson was third, second, whatever. But not one trade. Not one trade. Crazy.
We're going to end off on this. I think this is pretty comical. Here's the NHL breakdown and all the players that were selected. So, I mean, just look at the length of these write-ups. We got Zach Benson with a long analysis. We got Yeager, long analysis. Matthew Wood.
I can see where you're going with this.
All these long analysis. And then we've got
he's 5'10". Yeah, that's his stats, and we don't know what to say.
even the NHL site. We're like, what the heck? We weren't prepared for that one, Toronto. So there you have it. A little bit of humor to end off the night. Eric, if you're watching this after the fact, we miss you. Too bad you weren't here to enjoy the fun of the Toronto Maple Leafs draft. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are out of here. Hopefully we'll be back soon for another either a live or recorded redraft.
Recorded, free agent, see where all these Ryan O'Reillys go.
Free agent and whichever team you support, we thank you for joining in, and we'll see you next episode. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Frank. Have a wonderful rest of your June, and it's going to be an interesting free agent.
Yeah, free agent is in 2 days, or 3 days. There's not lots of rest, man.
Yeah.
All right. Later.
Okay. Bye.